Hey guys, alright. Well, I'm here doing this. Sorry about the quality of the camera and everything. Man, camera quality is really bad. But you guys told me to go ahead, do this and live stream it, and I said it's gonna be lower quality, and you're like, whatever. So yeah, hold on, let me see if I can make the camera quality. The more light, the better quality the camera is, of course. We all know that. I will be responding to comments, in the comment section. I'm gonna try to see if I actually move the monitor too much. Last time I did this, I unplugged the Wi-Fi router. So yeah, any comments you have, I will be happy to answer them. Make the lighting right. Okay. I'm reading this book right here in one sitting. 1001 Unbelievable Facts. Let me see if you guys can hear me okay. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna put on my headphones. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got my headphones here. Well, that's just great. Drop my keyboard. I'm gonna plug this into my grandma's computer. See if I can hear myself real quick. And that'll be it. That's all I'll need it for. You know, since I have this. Okay. Okay, so yet again, sorry if you guys didn't see the test video about everything. Sorry about the recording. I won't be able to respond too much in the comments because I'm reading an entire book. But you know, I'm in between chapters, so you know, just stuff like that. I'm trying this. Yes, I will be playing some top quality games. AJ, send this video to any link you can, because this is going to be lit. Turning the comments off. Alright, I'm going to pause this on my grandma's computer for better Wi-Fi. And, alright, let's go right into this. So we have Unbelievable Body Facts, page 9 to 39. Then at 39, Unbelievable Food Facts, from 39 to 69. And at 69, we have Unbelievable Animal Facts, from page 69 to 99. And at page 99, we have Unbelievable History Facts. From page 99 to 129, we have Unbelievable Science Facts. From page 129 to page 159, we have Unbelievable Record Facts. And from page 159 to page 189, Unbelievable Random Facts, which then goes on to page 110. Sorry if I'm a bad reader. I can't really do this. I can't really read very well, honestly. Here, let me fix my jacket. This cancerous jacket. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's read this. Okay. Oh, extras. Okay. Have you ever stopped to think about all the unbelievable things that are going on in the world? In the time it's to read that, taking you to read, hundreds of imaginable things have just happened, and that's hard to believe too. Wow. Even before there were people on the planet to decide whether something was unbelievable or not, a whole range of unimaginable stuff was going on. Tyrannosaurus rex, for example, has incredible jaws full of long teeth that were strong enough to crush a car. Then there was the gigantic Bronchiosaurus. Its length was up to 2 buses and weighed at least 77,000 pounds. What was that? Okay, I just saw like a flash of light. 35 metric tons. Whoa. Okay. And as soon as people came along, they would often spend their days looking for crazy things to do, ranging from making fire with a couple of sticks to building huge structures without any machinery whatsoever. Over time, scientists came out as the champions of co-invincible truths and often made unbelievable discoveries without even meaning to. Alright. Okay. Okay. Unbelievable body facts. Let's get right into this. Yeah. All right. So let's go. Okay. So. All right. Okay. Whether your hair is curly or straight depends on the shape of your hair follicles. Curly hair grows from oval follicles. Straight hair grows from round follicles. The average human body is made up of more than a trillion cells. A Michigan couple opened their home and were shocked to find a liver and an ear inside. The part should have been delivered to a nearby research laboratory. Retrieving a memory takes 0.004 seconds. You have no control over some of your muscles. These are known as involuntary muscles, which the body uses for functions such as breathing and digesting food. If you're right-handed, you tend to chew food on the right side of your mouth. If you're left-handed, you tend to chew it on the left. Tooth enamel is the hardest substance in your body. An operation on a planet in Belgrade, Siberia hospital was disrupted when two surgeons, okay, yeah, so I spelled it, started a fight. They took their fist fighting outside, and the assistant surgeon completed the procedure. Okay. There are hundreds of viruses that can give you a cold. That's why there's no cure. Hemococcus, it's a really big word, is a hereditary iron overload disorder. Iron accumulates in the body, damaging the organs and darkening the skin. Okay. Your brain is your hungriest organ. 20% of what you eat feeds it. The pain-killing drug aspirin comes from willow bark and was first described by we went over this. Hippocrates in the 5th century BC. I don't know. A British retrieve who lost her false teeth discovered that her dog had eaten them. The dog had a 3-hour operation to have them removed. Red blood cells are made inside your bones. Each cell travels around the body about 250,000 times before it returns to the spleen to die. Your eyes always close when you sneeze. Your digestive system will process about 110,231 pounds, 50 metric tons of food in your lifetime. Sometimes a muscle fully contracts by itself. You're not expecting it, and it's very painful. That's a cramp. Whoa. Cool, dude. Wreaths, pictures, jewelry, and postcards that are made of our Wreaths, pictures, jewelry, and postcards are made of our contain human hair are on display. Okay, so it says postcards are made of our human hair are on display in Lelia's Air Museum in Missouri. These keepsakes are commonly made in Victorian times. So people made wreaths and stuff out of their own hair, and it's in this museum. The paragraph didn't make any sense. Florida girl Jennifer Mee hiccuped constantly for 5 weeks. The hiccups stopped as suddenly as they had started. One person in 20 has an extra pair of ribs. In an emergency, your body produces a hormone called adrenaline that gives you superhuman strength. There are more than 700 kinds of bacteria lurking in your large intestine. Pain signals reach the brain more slowly than touch signals. That's why rubbing things better really works. Astronauts have to wear a minimum absorbent garment when they go on spacewalks. That's right, just like a baby. Okay. You have more than 230 joints in your body. An eyebrow hair lasts for only 10 weeks, whereas a hair can stay on your head for 5 years. Some infections lead to strawberry tongue, in which the bumps on the tongue swell up, making it look like a strawberry. Okay. On average, right-handed people live nine more years than left-handed people. Some of your muscles can contract and relax again in a fraction of a second, such as those in your eyes. You use 72 muscles when you talk. That's quite a workout. The growing obesity problem The growing obesity problem has led to one British council installing in bigger furnaces in its cremations that can hold 3 feet 1 meter wide coffins. Okay, I get it now. Abnormal skin cells can be frozen away. Liquid nitrogen causes instant frostbite on healthy skin, but is often used to get rid of warts and moles. Men are more likely to be colorblind than women. Long, thin cell structures in your fingernails make them rip across, not downward. Oh, okay. You're hairy all over. Only on your lips, palms, and soles of your feet have no hair on them. The rest of your body is covered with about 5 million hairs. Your heart beats more than 30 million times each year. Your brain weighs half as much as your skin. Okay. An Indian man sold to raise money for a trip to the 2007 World Cup cricket match in West Indies. That's just great. That guy is so stupid. You have a stirrup and anvil and a hammer in each ear. They are tiny bones that were named in when there were more blacksmiths around than there are today. Any part of your body can be removed and replaced with any part of your body can be removed or replaced with a machine except your brain. The lining of your stomach completely replaces itself every 3 days. I also know something about this. The lining of your stomach is mucus, which is like your snot. It like lines your stomach. So, yeah. You lose 47% of your body's heat from your head. That's why you should wear a hat if it's chilly. The only animal that can get a sunburn, apart from a human, is a pig. You could live for a month without food, but only a week without water. In ancient Greece, a prisoner called Histius sent his son in law a secret message to start a rebellion, tattooing it onto his slave's head. Okay. Your thigh bone, or femur, is the longest bone in your body. Early American toothpaste boxes from 1968 were black and featured an X-ray picture of a decayed tooth. Marketing has improved a little since then. You have 6 million bones in each eye. They are the cells that make you see colors. Long-distance swimmers eat while they're in the water to keep up their energy levels. The whole is produced only when you sleep, so if you want to be taller, you should go to bed when you're told. Women blink almost twice as much as men. The ancient Greeks believed that a sneeze was a good sign from the gods. In parts of India, it's believed to be a sign of good health. Fingernails grow 4 times more quickly than toenails. Okay. Singer Screamin' Jay Hawkins was famous for a song called Constipation Blues. Each nerve cell in your brain can receive over 100,000 messages a second. A Yemeni man was found to have 4 kidneys instead of 2. Although he was offered money for his spare ones, he decided that they were a gift from Allah and kept and kept all 4. A red blood cell takes less than a minute to go around your whole body. Your hair grows more quickly in warm weather than in cold weather. A New Zealand tree surgeon broke his leg near the top of a 130-foot, 400-meter high tree, and was then injured further when the rescue helicopter swung him into another. Like I was having a bad day. Your body is made of 66% water. There are 100,000 hairs on the average human head. Babies and children blink less often than adults. Newborn babies blink only once or twice a minute. Your lungs are different sizes. The left make room for your heart. Your skull is made up of 22 bones. A Chinese man has grown the nails on his left hand for 15 years, so that their total length is more than 3 feet. He avoids crowded places in case one of them gets broken. Japanese women have the highest average lifespan, can expect to live beyond the age of 80. Children and young adults oxygen as people over 80 years of age. Your thyroid gland is butterfly-shaped. It's in your neck and makes important substances that help you grow and develop properly. Your gallbladder is dark green. Someone who says a word or name during a conversation is suffering from lethargia. I don't know. Ever wondered what that little pink lump in the corner of your eye is? Your ancestors had an extra eyelid that would close horizontally to protect the eye. We haven't needed it for thousands of years, so it has disappeared through. More than half of your bones are in your hands and feet. I figured that, but probably, yeah. Brain cells are the only cells in the body that don't regenerate. When they're gone, they're gone. Okay, yeah. A 1960 Olympic water polo match between Hungary and Soviet Union was abandoned after the degenerate into the underwater brawl. It was abandoned after it degenerated into an underwater brawl. So yeah, I guess they were fighting each other. Water. The skin is thickest on the soles of your feet and gets thicker if you walk around barefoot a lot. Skin is thinnest in your eyelids. Every tiny move you make uses muscles. You have more than 630 altogether. The hair follicle on your head will rest for up to 6 months after a hair falls out before it sprouts out of it. Ancient philosophers believed that mental activity took place in the heart. Your brain was as big as an adult's when you were just 6 years old. It's impossible to live without your large intestine. Your nose helps you taste things. That's why it's difficult to taste your food if you have a cold and can't smell anything. A Brazilian woman who had suffered from stomach pain for years was finally given an X-ray which revealed a scalpel inside her body. The surgical tool had been 23 years earlier when she had given birth by a C-section. Dead bodies are stored in a morgue at a temperature of 35 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 to 4 degrees Celsius. Forensic scientists can identify a person's age, gender, race from a single hair. Gold can reduce swelling and it's given to arthritis sufferers by injection. What? Salivating before throwing up is the body's way of protecting your teeth from the high acid levels in vomit. A Dutch gym has naked workout sessions. What? As you're reading this, 4% of your blood, the rest is whizzing around your body. An 80-year-old Chinese man agreed to have his hair washed for the first time in 23 years. It took 12 relatives and friends 5 hours to get all of the grime out of his 6'2" locks, followed by his beard which measured 5 feet 1.5 meters. That guy needs some serious help. The liver is your largest internal organ. It has more than 500 functions and has true blood supply. The fingerprints of koala bears and humans are so similar that they could be confused with a crime scene. There are 7 types of stool listed on the Bristol stool. Chart medical aid ranging from separate hard lumps like nuts type 1 to entirely liquid type 7. Okay. You have an amazing nose. It is so sensitive that it can tell the difference between 10,000 smells. You will walk the equivalent of 5 times around the world during your lifetime. Nerve signals are super fast. It takes less than 1/100th of a second for a signal from your toe to reach your brain. Women and children breathe more quickly than men. A Polish car thief was tracked down after he left his false teeth at a crime scene. Police used dental records to catch the culprit. The human body is at its lowest ebb between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. It's time for someone to die in their sleep. The older you are, the more quickly your nails will grow. Although they weigh a lot less, your bones are as strong as steel. Even though your gastric juices are acidic, enough to dissolve metal, you can't digest tomato seeds. They pass straight through your intestines. Although your strongest muscles are the ones you sit on, you have a gluteus maximus in each of your buttocks. 91% of the body's calcium is in your bones and teeth. Human babies are born without kneecaps. Laughing and coughing put more pressure on your spine than standing or walking do. Some people have developed back injuries from coughing. Touching one's soft palate on the back of your mouth triggers a gag reflex, but this can be controlled with practice. Sword swallowers train themselves to resist it. Your small intestine is covered with tiny finger-like projections called villi. They increase the surface area of your intestine to absorb the maximum amount of nutrition from food. I'm still tired. Okay. Your kidneys take just 4 minutes to clean all the blood in your body. Some of your muscles stretch to twice their resting length when you exercise. When you cough, the air rushes through your windpipe faster than the speed of sound. 1 in 600 people are born with horseshoe kidney. There are 2 kidneys that make a horseshoe shape. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already dehydrated. Humans have a tailbone. Its proper name is the coccyx, which means cuckoo. It got this name because it looks like a cuckoo beak. Cuckoo is a kind of bird or something. Your nails are naturally thick or thin. Nothing can make them thicker, whatever the claims on nail cosmetics may say. Animals that cry tears when we are upset. I wonder. I was saying, hold on. Sorry, guys. 85% of people can curl their tongue into. The other 15% get annoyed that they can't do it. Gosh, I am just dead. Your ears and nose keep growing throughout your whole lifetime. Poisons in the body can be stored in the air shaft. Poisons in the body can be stored in the hair shaft for years, even after death. You have the same number of bones in your neck as a giraffe has. The difference is obvious. The giraffe bones are a lot longer. Your bones are alive. If they weren't full of living cells, they wouldn't be able to mend themselves when they break. You lose your sense of smell. Okay, guys, I'm officially dead. You lose your sense of smell as you get older, so children can smell far more than their parents or grandparents. The nail on your middle finger grows more quickly than the others. Surgeons trying to correct the limp of a 5-year-old boy in China lengthened the wrong leg. The confusion arose when the boy was anesthetized while lying on his back. An operation on while lying on his stomach, always best to check. Okay. So basically, they did an operation on the wrong side of him because he was like laying on his stomach and he was supposed to be laying on his back. The deadly virus can live for years at room temperature. Luckily, it's not very common. You spend the first half hour of your life as a single cell. Your body is producing sclerosebum fluid all the time. Fluid acts as a cushion to protect your brain and constantly needs replacing. Babies less than 1 month old don't cry tears. The hair and fingernails made from the same substance called Keithroth. I don't even know what's that. Okay. Synesthesia is a condition where two senses overlap. Russian artist Vasily Kandinsky, for example, perceived musical notes as colors. A mold sprays up to 40,000 infections droplets. Person with a cold sprays up to 40,000 droplets into the air when he or she sneezes, like infected droplets of disgust. Reply to this comment. You are slightly taller in the morning than you go to bed. Identical twins have the same DNA, but different fingerprints. One type of E. coli causes food poisoning, but there are hundreds of strands of the bacteria that you have in your intestine. Professional athletes have a very slow resting heart rate. Fatal insomnia is a rare inherited disease where sufferers get so little sleep that they eventually die. The skull is much softer at birth to allow the brain to grow. Newborn babies often have misshaped heads. The lack of the mineral iodine in the diet causes a big lump in the neck. The thyroid gland swells up. I'm sorry, guys, I keep yawning. I'm tired and I got a lot of this book to read, so yeah, top quality. Your heart first started beating 3 weeks after you were conceived. So, conceived, I guess born. You dream for about 2 hours a night. The U.S. has the highest rate of obesity in the developed world. 2/3 of the adults are classed as overweight or obese. Lung is a rare condition in which microscopic holes appear in the lungs. Your muscles are made up of bundles of muscle fibers. Each one is as thin as a hair. March 8 is World Kidney Day. How would you celebrate? 10% of people have a protruding belly button or an outie. Whether you have an innie or an outie depends on the shape and size of your umbilical cord when you were born. Beasts does sometimes have hiccups and also suck their thumbs, but probably not at the same time. I don't understand what the first word means, so I don't get that. Your voice is unique. No two people have exactly the same larynx, nose, and mouth shape, so your voice print is all yours. Your eye muscles work really hard. They make 100,000 movements in a day. Some people are born without an appendix. That saves them the trouble of having it out later. So, I mean, sometimes you're going to have to get your appendix out. So, I mean, it's good that people don't have their appendix because you don't really need it. And it's actually something that kills many people. So, it's basically just like a death trap, pretty much. So, yeah. Men have larger brains than women, but women have more brain cells. The brain can't sense touch, or pain. Okay, so it's saying that if you touch your brain, you can't feel it, or if you, like, squeeze your brain, you can't. So brain surgery can be done while the patient is still awake. If a tumor is being removed, the surgeon may talk to the patient to check for alertness and to make sure that the operation is not damaging healthy parts of the brain. You have water in your bones. 20% of your skeleton is made up of water. Okay, guys, well, that ends the unbelievable body facts. So far, we've read page 9 to 39. So we're going on to the unbelievable food facts. Now, these facts are pretty lit, honestly. Oh my god, I just drank a bunch of, like, Coca-Cola, and it's just all coming up. It's like acid reflexes, like cancerous, and like burping every time I yawn. I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, guys, I just want to tell you, don't drink an entire Coca-Cola before you decide to read 1001 Facts live on a YouTube video where you have to speak everything out. So, okay. I'm going to adjust to read the rest of this cancer. Okay. Donuts originally had a nut in the center. Early bubblegum was pink because it was the only food coloring available at the time. An Indian woman was cleaning the soil from potatoes in her dinner. Turned out that it had been a hand grenade. Neighbors called the police, and the weapon was safely detonated. Mice are a delicacy in Zambia and Maui. A New York restaurant offers the ultimate luxury pizza, topped with lobster and 6 kinds of caviar. It's a bargain at $1,000. Caviar is extremely expensive, like 6 eggs are like $1,000, so that is a bargain. Boiling a lobster alive is a crime, punishable by a fine in northern Italy. Canadian sculptor Cosimo Calavari sprayed a whole house with cheese. He used 9,920 pounds, 450 kilograms of cheddar to cover the house inside and out. African-American scientist George W. Carver intended over 100 projects. North Americans George W. Carver invented over 100 products from peanuts, including cloth, dyes, and wood stains. So he made all this stuff he made 100 things out of peanuts. Like, what? Sausages were invented thousands of years ago as a way of preserving and eating all nasty-looking leftovers from slicing up an animal into cuts of meat. Now the leftovers are hot dogs. Like, sausages used to be that, but sausages have been, like, transformed into a pig. So, like, a sausage is completely made out of pig, and hot dogs are now leftovers from slicing up an animal, like turkey. Cow. That's hot dog. Mexicans love chocolate sauce on a turkey. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be really bad. I mean, why are Mexicans the only ones who like that? Triggered. Century candy canes weren't cane-shaped but straight. Their curved shape came from a 17th century priest who made candy so it resembled shepherd's staffs. If glaced cherries didn't have red coloring added, they would be beige. The U.S. is the world's largest producer of cheese. The U.S. is the world's largest producer of cheese. During the 19th century, lard, pig fat, was used as a spread like butter. Vinegar eels are tiny worms that can be found in vinegar. Don't worry, bottled vinegar is pasteurized and filtered, so you won't find any wriggling around on your fish and chips. The glue on Israel postage stamp certified cluster. Cluster is like a type of fruit, I think. Japanese artist Hashimi Ortio goes around the world's cities and shakes hands with people. The bungee strapped to his head, covering his face. He calls his performances Bread Man. Baguettes strapped to his head, covering. So he goes around the world shaking people's hands with a baguette on his head. The mango comes from the same family as poison ivy. Its skin can the mouth of Eden. Tea was originally a medicine in ancient China. Witch's broom fungus and frosty pot rot are fungi that affect cacao plants, the plants used to make chocolate. Welshman Captain Benny worships baked beans. He dresses in baked bean orange, bathes in beans, and formed a new Millennium Bean Party. Okay, so this guy worships beans. You can't use fresh pineapple in a gelatin mold. It contains an enzyme that keeps it from setting. So basically, if you freeze dry a pineapple, you basically can't lose it, or it's saying that it won't go old, like ever. Tomatoes are berries. That resolves the problem right there. A Mumbai businessman caused outrage when he opened the Hitler's Cross restaurant, where diners were greeted by a huge picture of the Nazi leader. Black salt is actually pinkish gray. Garlic has long been used for its medical properties and was an ancient Egypt cure for worms and tumors. Watermelons grow in the Kalahari Desert. They grow wild there, which makes sense because no fruit would need to grow that much. More people are allergic to cow's milk than any other food. Marshmallow got its name from the plant of the same name. The first marshmallows contained the plant extract as its gelling agent, but modern forms use gelatin. This makes them unsuitable for vegetarians since gelatin is made from boiled up animal parts. So marshmallows are gelatin. But then vegetarians couldn't eat marshmallows because gelatin is made of boiled up animal parts. Pretty lit. Poppy seeds contain the pain-killing drug morphine and are banned in Singapore for this reason. Carrot jam is a delicacy in Portugal. Dried peas have been found in ancient Egyptian tombs. Grapefruits got their name from the way they grow clusters looking like bunches of huge grapes. Dozens of people in northern India became fatally ill in 1998 After using what they thought was mushroom for cooking, it was discovered that the oil had been made from poisonous prickly poppy seeds, which look and taste like mustard seeds. Black magic and black beauty are types of eggplant. A British girl put 2 store-bought organic eggs in an incubator to see if they would hatch. A few weeks later, 2 fluffy chicks popped out. So store-bought organic eggs. She put them in an incubator, and they were still good. So basically all they do with organic eggs is pick them up. Black Death is the name of an Icelandic vodka. Turkeys originally came from Mexico. Their English name comes from the fact that they were first brought to England from Turkey. Popcorn was discovered thousands of years ago by Native Americans who enjoyed popcorn soup and popcorn beer, not butter. Until the 18th century, English people believed that tomatoes were poisonous. Basil seed drink with honey as a thick seed-filled Asian drink. Drinking it is said to be like drinking bluey masses of frogs' eggs. Salad blue and blue Congo are types of potato. Anyone for blue fries? Pretty lit. Forbidden rice is a black rice grain that becomes dark purple when cooked and turns the water it's cooked bright purple. Drinking grapefruit juice can be dangerous when taking medication since it allows chemicals to build up in the body. Alright, I'm gonna make sure this is going okay. The lovely smell of lemons can help you concentrate. A study using citrus aroma in cars showed that both male and female drivers perform much better than they did without it. So they put a lemon-scented candle in cars, and they drove it around, and yeah. Coca-Cola was originally green. It doesn't say this, but Coca-Cola was originally green because they put cocaine in drink. Until they figured out that it was illegal, and that's when they made it. So the cocaine turned the Coca-Cola green somehow. I don't know. Honey is antibacterial. It never spoils. So honey would last forever. So I mean, I guess yeah, you could put that in your bomb shelter. There are more than 350 types of pasta. The British are big tea fans. The average Brit drinks 23 times more tea than the average Italian. It takes more calories to digest a piece of celery than there are in the celery itself. No point in eating that. So, don't eat celery, because eating celery, it takes more calories to digest celery than there are in the celery itself. So you're not really gaining anything from celery. Celery is not going to make you hungry. But the reason people tell you to eat celery is that I guess it'd be a good way to lose calories. It's just by eating some celery. I think it's probably one of the only vegetables that come out positive, like how you don't gain, you lose. So pretty lit. In the UK, 26 million eggs are eaten every day. That's an extraordinary amount. So funny. Lens is Latin for lentil. The lenses in your eyes are lentil-shaped. A Chinese car dealer covered a Volkswagen Beetle in 440 pounds, 20 kilograms of chocolate for his Valentine's Day display. Hedgehogs were eaten in medieval times and are still a source of food in some countries. One way to cook it is in clay. When the baked clay is broke off, the hedgehog spikes come with it. Oh, okay. Popular Korean snack bunjihai, or silkworm pupa, that have been steamed or boiled and then seasoned. They sound delicious. That just sounds disgusting, actually. The cucumber originally came from India. Cashew nuts come from cashew apples. I'd actually like to eat a cashew apple. A medieval survey showed that the average Briton eats spaghetti 3,000 times in his or her lifetime. Throwing celery into a field is a tradition for fans in the English soccer team Chelsea, even though it's recently became a criminal offense, and one arrested fan vowed never to eat celery again. Okay. The remains of 4,000-year-old site in China in 2005, settling the argument of where they were invented. There are more chickens in the world than any other bird, probably because of like farms and stuff, so yeah. Salt was highly prized by Romans. Soldiers were sometimes paid in salt, which is now the world's salary. The world's salary originated to like money and stuff. That's where it originated, was salt and stuff like that. For his wow. For one of his exhibitions, designer Jean-Paul Guntler had dresses, shoes, and hats specially made by bakers. This show was called Pain Culture, and the exhibits were made from bread and pastry. The first ketchup was made with pickled fish in East Asia. During medieval ages, children were given beer for breakfast. The average British household throws away almost a third of the food it buys. Sorry guys if I'm looking like over in this direction, because the camera is actually here, but for some reason I look at my face while I'm talking. Look at the camera, look at my face, and it looks like I'm looking over here. So, sorry, I'll try to look at the camera so you guys can actually know what I'm looking at. Okay. A Welshman celebrated the opening of his new pizza takeout store by having a slice of ham and pineapple pizza tattooed on the back of his head. This tattoo took 3 hours, and the event raised money for charity. Fruits with choke in their name, or sour and difficult to swallow, such as the choke pear and choke cherry. Okay. Watermelon rinds are edible and are used as a vegetable in the Asian stir-fries and stews. Basil grow only in rainforests. An English fisherman saved an edible crab because it had 3 claws. Instead of ending up as lunch, Caldi, the mutant crustacean, went on show at a local aquarium. Mount Horeb Museum in Wisconsin has a collection of over 4,000 different types of mustard. The first copy was sold in pharmacies and was known as Arabian. A Chinese man fed instant noodles to his dogs too often. They became addicted and refused to eat anything else but instant noodles. The largest chicken egg recorded had 5 yolks in it. The tea in tea bags is the waste product left over from the sorting of higher quality loose leaf tea known as dust. There are no turkeys eaten in Turkey. Japanese chocolate comes in fiery hot wasabi flavor. Oh, okay. Until the 17th century, all carrots were purple. Now you can choose to eat orange, red, yellow, or white ones. My face isn't even all the way in the camera. There we go, guys. Sorry about that. Chickpeas were used as a coffee substance during World War One. A British man with a foodophobia has lived mainly for cheese for 20 years. The only other thing he can bear to eat is potato chips. Cheese and potato chips. Eggshells contain calcium and are sometimes used as a food addictive. Banana plants have used to make cloth for hundreds of years in Japan. Puffed rice is made from grains of rice that have been heated until they bubble up to produce thin outer walls. The noise you hear when you pour milk into your cereal is those walls collapsing from the moisture. Medieval church wafers were made with coats of arms imprinted on them. Vietnamese snake bottle of rice wine with cobra coiled up inside it. It's sold for its medical purposes. So there's like this wine with a cobra inside of it. I don't really know why you would do that. That's kind of dumb. Yeah. In Poland and Germany, the last Thursday is known as Fat Thursday, when people stuff themselves with cakes. Eggplant is so named because some types aren't purple but white. These fruits, as the fruits are growing, they look like eggs. Until 2004, chewing gum was banned in Singapore. A can of cola contains the equivalent of 7 tablespoons of sugar. Former North Vietnamese Min once worked as a pastry assistant in the kitchens of London's Carlton Hotel. Oil can be used to make paint, varnish, polish, insect soap, and explosives. Despite being a cancer-causing substance, talcum powder is used in some countries to coat rice to improve its appearance. Talc-coated rice is banned in the U.S. People train pig-tailed aqui monkeys to collect coconuts in parts of Asia. Milk for U.S. President William Taft and his family was provided by a cow that grazed freely on the White House lawn. It takes 40 minutes to hard-boil an ostrich egg. Until the 20th century, lobster was seen as a food for the poor and was even used as fertilizer. The poisonous plant hemlock was a large white root that can be mistaken for wild parsnip with disastrous results. Sorry, I was like trying to read that one over to get what it meant. Alright. Australian finger lime was the widest color variation of any citrus fruit. It can be green, red, orange, yellow, purple, black, or brown. So, yeah, that's great. Garlic has been stored in oil for too long can produce the highly toxic poison botulism. It's literally called botulism. Dogs have been eaten in China for thousands of years. So Chinese people eat dogs, I guess, in China for something. Trenchers were medieval. Wait, did I skip one? No, okay. Trenchers were medieval plates made from stale bread. When the meal was finished, the trenchers would be given to the poor to eat. How generous. Okay, so trenchers were medieval plates made of stale bread. When the meal was finished, the trenchers were given to the poor to eat. How generous. So these people would stale bread and then give it to these other people to eat stale bread that they just ate off of. It's great. Frost is necessary in the growing of parsnips. It helps to develop the flavor. Bubble tea or pearl tea is an Asian tea drink that comes in different flavors. That makes it unusual. I'm losing my mind. Bubble tea or pearl tea is an Asian tea drink that comes in different flavors. What makes it unusual is that it is big, black, chewy tapaka balls swimming around in it that lurk at the bottom of the cup. The strawberry is the only fruit that has its seeds on its outer skin. The Romans used to eat lettuce as dessert. The horned melon was known as African horned cucumber, as a jelly-like flesh that tastes like a cross between cucumber and kiwi fruit. Italian sea brew is a sauce made from cocoa scums and chicken livers. Cocoa scums and chicken livers. French soups sold in the street were called restaurateurs for their restaurant properties. The first restaurant opened in Paris in 1765, selling the soups and providing tables at which to eat them. A rotten egg has a green yolk. The amount of rice blast fungus destroys each year could feed 60 million people. Rice blast fungus destroys in 1 year could feed 60 million people. That's great. China is the world's leading producer of apples. Strawberries and red peppers both contain more vitamin C than oranges. Weight for weight. Spinning champion Al Jordan can spin a snail 31 feet. No, snail spitting champion Alan Jordan can spit a snail 31 feet, 9.4 meters. Competitors run up before they spit out their mollusk as far as they can. Right? Why would you do that to the poor snail? I don't understand. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna see if the still doing good. Stream is still telling top quality. Eggs and brains is a southern U.S. dish made with scrambled eggs. The pig's brain, yummy. Peanuts are widely eaten in China and India, but peanut allergy is rare there. A Christian is a dried cranberry. Before industrialized food production, one big noodle would be cooked for a meal in Chinese households. It was considered bad luck to cut it before it was served. Okay, yeah. I was checking this to make sure you guys heard that, or if you guys didn't. My brother just screamed no because he died in this game, so I don't know if you heard it, and you did. It sounded like, I don't know. So, sorry about that. Is a dried cranberry. So like a raisin, which is a dried grape, but a craisin is a dried cranberry. Is anyone even watching? Yes. Pretty nice. People in Central Europe used to rub garlic on their and keyholes to keep away vampires and werewolves. Great. Chinese was invented around cheese was invented around 8000 BC. Ancient Romans used to breed dormice as a type of rodent or food. Dormouse made a tasty starter. There are more Maltese people in Melbourne, Australia, than there are in Malta. White hens lay white eggs. Gulcane is Italian curded eggs cheek. Some Indonesian men drink cobra blood to make them more manly. King Cobra is the most expensive. Coffee was originally banned in some countries because it was considered addictive. The first cheesecakes were served at the ancient Greek Olympic Games for more than 2,000 years ago. 98% of Colombia's agricultural land is used to grow rice. The tryptophan mango smells of tryptophan. It's safe to the experience is said to be like eating a regular mango in a freshly painted room. 19th century English geologist William Buckman claimed to have eaten his way through the animal kingdom, including panther and crocodile. He said that the worst things he had tasted were mole and Portuguese man-of-war jellyfish. No species other than humans drink milk from the mothers of their species. Okay. Eating large amounts of carrots will turn your skin orange. But no species other than humans drink milk from the mothers of their species. That's wrong. It takes 88 pints of sap from a maple tree to make 1 liter, 2.2 pints of maple syrup. Chicken neck skin is sometimes used as casing for coaster sausages. Artist Gaili Kong Kwan has made sculpture landscapes from food. Her works have included puffed rice walls, mashed potato mountains, cheese buildings, and a ham tower. Adamville, Louisiana has a giant omelet celebration in which a 5,000 egg omelet is made in a giant pan. Sliced bread was invented in 1928 in Missouri. Candy canes first became peppermint flavored with red and white stripes in Sweden in the 19th century. A fuzzy melon is an Asian vegetable similar to squash. Kangaroo mint was very low in fat. Kangaroo sausages, known as kangabangas, and kangaroo steaks are available in Australia. Japanese scientists believe chewing gum is good for your brain. Chewing stimulates the learning center of the brain that can actually improve your memory. A chicken can lay more than 200 eggs per year. The early Catholic Church banned sausages since they were traditionally eaten during pagan festivals. Fried cod tongues are a popular Norwegian dish. Fortune cookies were invented in California. That's interesting. So fortune cookies were invented in California and not China. So, I mean, I always thought that they were like a Chinese tradition for a long time. There is no ham in a hamburger. The name comes from the fact that the first meat patties served in a bread bun were made in Hamburg, Germany. Now we're going on to unbelievable animal facts. So, we've read 69 pages, so we're going to go from page 69. Let's do this. Quite a bit on the animal facts here, but whatever. quite a bit. Alright. Let's get right into this. Hold on. Before we do this, I'm going to go to my friends. I'm going to go to my channel. And I'm going to send some of my friends links to the video. Because, you know, why not? Well, I'm retarded. Try to do this kind of fast because I don't want to have this whole live stream ruined due to this. So yeah, I'm gonna view all the comments. And yeah. All right, here it is. All right. No. All right. All right. Let's get on to this. It's trash. This is cringe. A woodpecker's tongue can be as long as its body. It has a end for skewering grubs. Pretty delish. Alright, I'm gonna pause the live stream. Like on my computer. Insects first appeared 300 million years ago, even further back in time than dinosaurs. Oh my gosh, what have I done? It's broken. Broken. Locusts can fly for 20 hours without stopping. Large rodents called augurs were only animals that can open Brazil nuts with their teeth. The mimic octopus can change its shape and like other sea creatures. It can even make itself long and thin to do an impression of a sea snake. Eyes of a hamster blink independently from each other. So they go like, and then, Audidex malforius is a slimy sea worm that feeds on whale remains and looks like a flower growing from the bone as it's eating. Its name means bone. A flamingo always feeds with its head upside down. Australians were puzzled when they found a dead shark on a freshwater riverbank. A chief eventually confessed that he had put it there as a joke when it began to smell as he roasted it for a buffet. Meerkats are immune to many deadly venoms and will eat scorpions, stinger, and stinger and all. A New Zealand fisherman caught a colossal squid that was 30 feet 10 meters long. Its body was so enormous that calamari rings, squid rings made from it, were like tractor tires. It can take a month for the contents of the stomachs to digest completely. Of a sloth's stomach. The U.S. Russian armies have trained dolphins to rescue lost divers and seek out underwater mines. A giant anteater gobbles about 3,000 ants and termites in one day. Using its sticky tongue, it can be long 2 feet 60 centimeters. Beavers have a set of transparent eyelids to protect their eyes as they swim underwater. The strongest leather comes from ostrich skin. Sunfish can walk. Mud can have strong fins that they use as legs to get around. Workers at Kenneth Animal Sanctuary were surprised when an orphaned baby hippo chose Mizzy, a 130-year-old giant tortoise, as its new parent. Since Owen the hippo was rescued from the sea of the 2004 tsunami, the pair had lived, slept, and been playing together for that long. Chemicals taken from Kachimu crabs have been used to treat burns. In the same way people are right or left-handed, elephants are right or left-tusked. The burrowing owl nests underground and lines it with cow dung. Staff at a British zoo had to hand a baby Columbus monkey after it was rejected by its mother for having the hiccups. Polar bears have transparent, not white, hair on their skin. It is black to absorb maximum heat from the sun. Hippos, whales, and dolphins are the only mammals to give birth underwater. Bees have 5 eyes. Birds can eat berries that are highly poisonous to humans. Well, I kind of figured, because, Okay. Bees have 5 eyes. Yeah. Fuji the dolphin put on weight after having her diseased tail amputated because it couldn't swim properly. Handlers at a Chinese aquarium came up with a speedy solution. A new tail. It was made from the mineral used for Formula One racing car tires. The total combined weight of the world's ant population is heavier than the weight of the combined human population. The greater bulldog bat likes to go fishing. Its super sonar detects the slightest of ripples, and then it swoops down to catch the fish with its feet. More than 40% of all mammal species are rodents. Both male and female octopuses die shortly after mating. Dakishimen means the dogs were originally bred for killing badgers, rabbits, and foxes, so not so cute after all. Snakes have no taste buds. The only fruit eaten by archvards is known as archvard cucumber, African bush archvard dung. Yes, heard that. Okay. Frogs don't drink water. They absorb it through their skin. A stag's antlers are made of bone. An elephant's stomach makes lots of noise when it's digesting food. So elephants can stop their digestion that if there was any danger of a predator hearing it. Okay? Stag's antlers are made of bone. I think I read that one. Mexican police discovered 132 wild animals in a trail bus. After investigating strange noises, some toucans, iguanas, parrots, snakes, and turtles are confiscated, but none of the passengers would admit to owning them, so no arrests were made. Schalk brood is a fungal disease that destroys honeybee larvae and gives them a chalky white appearance. Okay, never mind. I keep getting all these weird noises from outside, so I'm just making sure you guys don't hear it. I was wondering on it for the skin. I'm gonna put myself. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna stop putting on the headphones because it's really cringe and I can't read it all. Sharpboard is a fungal disease that destroys honeybee larvae and gives a chalky white appearance. Owls are farsighted, so they can't see things up close very well, but they can see things far away. Australian medics soon discovered the cause of a squeak in a tourist car. A kitten had been trapped above one of the wheels. The kitten was shaken, but it survived the car's 900-mile, 1.5-kilometer journey. Squirrels can climb trees faster than on their own. Adult swordfish have no teeth. An armadillo can stay underwater for up to 6 minutes. First it fills its stomach with air, otherwise it would sink under the weight of its heavy body armor. Bat bugs look like bed bugs and suck the blood of bats. Okay. The male Kautuk bear on its the male Celtic bear on its hind legs is gigantic, over 10 feet 3 meters tall. A pair of storks made a nest in the middle of a German golf course and filled it with golf balls. They're probably still waiting for them to hatch. Newborn rattlesnakes have no rattle. The bead needed to make the rattle noise in their tail doesn't form until they have shed their first skin. Some starfish are circular. They must feel a little out of place. Crab-eater seals don't eat crabs. Crab-eater seals don't eat crabs. They eat krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures. Until 1997, punishment for killing a panda in China was death. I think it still should be death, honestly, because, I mean, pandas are so... Gigantic catfish frightened drivers into a Dutch vacation park. The monster fish was found to be 7 feet 6 inches, 2.3 meters long, and ate 3 ducks a day. But staff promised they wouldn't eat people. A catfish that eats 3 ducks a day? What? Bedbugs have fleas. Bedbugs and fleas can live for a whole year without eating. Spider monkey's tail is so strong that it can pick fruit. With it. The African pygmy mouse gets water by stacking pebbles in front of its burrow and drinking the dew from them in the morning. Pigs don't sweat. They roll around in mud to keep cool in the weather. The African pancake tortoise has a flat, soft shell, just like a pancake. The shell is no use against predators, but it does help the tortoise to avoid them by enabling them to hide in narrow crevices. Both the coat and skin of a tiger are stripy. Birds' eyes are fixed in their sockets, so they have to move their whole head to look at something. Try yourself looking while keep your eyes still. The color of a flamingo comes from all the shrimp it eats. A pale flamingo isn't getting enough food. The male four-horned antelope is the only mammal with 4 horns. Okay. Unraveled, the thread of a single silkworm's cocoon can be over half a mile, 1 kilometer long. A queen termite can live for 15 years. 2 smelly musk hogs were married in a lavish ceremony at Taiwan to celebrate a year of the pig. The pigs were dressed up for the occasion and got to eat some of the wedding cake. That's what I'm gonna have at my wedding. It's a bunch of pigs eating cake at my... Yeah. The roadrunner is a type of cuckoo. Some Native American tribes believe that it protected against evil spirits. Lions are colorblind. That's why a zebra's camouflage is so effective. German farmer found a novel way of protecting his sheep from hoof blocked in special little rubber boots. Male lions spend most of their time resting and are inactive for about 20 hours a day. A seal was found over 4 miles, 6 kilometers from the sea, struggling down a country lane with a lecture England. How it got there is still a mystery. Elephants have only 4 teeth, so that it can be replaced up to 6 times in a lifetime. Elephants only have 4 teeth that can be replaced up to 6 times in their lifetime. The colorful St. Andrew's cross spider is so called because it rests in its web with its legs outstretched in an X formation. Okay. Sharks are covered in sharp tooth-like scales called denticles. The tapir is a long that it's priscilline, which means it can move in all directions and grasp things. The harpy eagle is so large and powerful that it can easily carry away a monkey in its talons. Phonics, phonics experts have discovered that birds chirp with regional accents. The call of a blue whale is louder than a jumbo jet. It can be heard 500 miles, 800 kilometers away. Another fun fact about that is that the call of the blue whale is so loud that it would literally melt glass. A cat's nose is a unique print, just like your fingerprints do. A group of owls is known as a parliament. If a shark is turned upside down, it would go into a state of paralysis known as tonic immobility for up to 15 minutes. Tarantulas can't spin webs. An elderly Swedish woman took animal rescue a little too far. Police found that she had been sheltering 11 swans in her tiny Stockholm apartment for more than 5 years. Snakes are an example of obligate carnivores. All they eat is meat, 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 and more meat. Gosh, my nose is messed up. There are 18 different kinds of piranha fish, but only 4 of them are dangerous. Unlike other big cats, cheetahs can't roar, they purr though. A rat can go without water for longer than a camel. That's interesting. If you find a mermaid's purse washed up on the beach, it's an empty case of a dogfish, snake, or maybe even a shark. A tiny tree frog wandered into the freezer cafe in Darwin, Australia, and was found frozen solid. Once thawed out, it was fine. Maybe it had only gone in for a Coca-Cola. West African woolly bats are so tiny that they live in spider webs. Oh wow. Amphibian skin absorbs chemicals in addition to water, so a frog sitting in an anesthetic solution go to sleep. German cat A German cat was sent through the mail after sneaking into a parcel while its owner looked for more tape. Brazilian police went to investigate the abandoned truck and discovered 5 lions inside it. Each of the lions had been fed 22 pounds, 10 kilograms of meat a day until their owner could be found. Snails can sleep for 3 years. The postman caterpillar eats poisonous leaves. It feeds a cyanide cyanide-filled passion flower leaves and stores the poison in its spikes to put off predators. Sea urchins have been on the planet for 450 million years. Big fat Atlantis beetle larvae can bite when touched. A new bakery that opened near Frankfurt, Germany offered treats such as tuna cakes and garlic cookies just for dogs. The 200 cats brought to a Chinese village to get rid of a rat problem were rewarded for their hard work and an enormous fish banquet. It's pretty interesting. Alright guys, I will be right back in 2 seconds. So I'm going to pause the stream. Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to go get my phone charger. No two zebras had the same stripy pattern. A parrotfish's teeth continue to grow throughout its lifetime. Part of her leg when she broke it in a fall was saved from slaughter when her owner had a one made. Now she can move fine. The platypus and the eccheba are the only two mammals with eggs and give their young milk. One pat of elephant dung can contain up to 7,000 dung beetles. Cats hate the smell of orange and lemon. North American caribou deer will travel 3,000 miles in a year. Giant clamshells are so big that in the past they have been used as children's baths and church. Sea pigs are a type of sea cucumber. They live in really deep oceans, rolling around in mud on the seabed and eating it. Can't digest bamboo really well, but they still spend all day eating it. 98% of what they eat is bamboo. Male African elephant weighs as much as 170 men. An oyster can be male 1 year and female the next. An Australian crocodile was so annoyed with the sound of a chainsaw nearby that it ran at the man using it and grabbed it from him. Right, a rhinoceros's horn isn't a true horn. It's made of matted hair, as with circular scars on their skin, marks from the suckers of a giant squid. The cook crab or robber crab lives on land and will drown in water. Giraffes, camels, and cats are the only animals that walk by together. They then both their right feet together. Swordfish have special organisms in their heads that heat up their eyes and brain. Some shrews have red teeth. The strange color comes from iron deposits. A cow caused an accident by wandering into a road in Colombia and was punished by being put in prison. A cow in prison. Owls can turn their heads completely around. They can turn them farther than you can, though, at an angle of 135 degrees in each direction. Okay, guys, I have to do something real quick, so I'm going to pause the stream yet again. RIP. Okay, I'm back. So we got the person who joined the stream, Legendary A106. 806. 106. Fucking dumb. Okay. Pandas have balls that look like hands with a thumb and 5 fingers on each. Some horses are allergic to grass. Their eyes water when they eat it, just like the eyes of a person with hay fever when exposed to ragweed pollen. The tarantula hawk is actually a wasp. The female attacks and paralyzes a tarantula that she can lay her eggs on its body. The hatched larva then eats the tarantula alive. Rip tarantula. The powerful jaws and sharp teeth of a snapping turtle can rip off a person's finger. King snakes, such as the king cobra, eat other snakes. It's pretty great. A cat's heart beats twice as fast as a human's. A rare armadillo in Argentina is small and pink. Its name is the pink berry armadillo. Rodents are immune to rabies virus. If it has no food, it can eat up to 95% of its own body to survive. An adult mayfly lives for only a day. It doesn't even get a chance to eat anything since it spends all its time mating and laying eggs. A Siberian husky can live and work in temperatures as low as 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 60 Celsius, minus 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Parrotfish can make themselves a kind of mucus sleeping bag. It masks their smell from predators and keeps parasites away. Not all penguins live in cold climates, and the Guacanus penguin lives near the equator. Pit vipers are also called because of the holes between their nostrils and eyes that contain heat. They track down prey in the dark by detecting the difference in temperature between the animal and its background. The sensitive heat detectors can pick up a difference in temperature of less than 33.8 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 degree Celsius. Pea crabs are tiny crabs the size of peas, in fact. Black bears have been known to take the lids off of jars and undo door latches. Giant sea stars are starfish that can have an arm span of more than 24 inches, 60 centimeters. They can be brown, green, red, or orange. Odd-eyed cats have one eye that is blue and one eye that is green, orange, or yellow. Cats eat, sleep, and give birth upside down. They are held in place by their sharp claws and will even stay hanging from a branch after they have died. Penguins have a filter above their eyes that converts salt water into fresh water. The excess brine drips out of their bills and sometimes they sneeze it out. A starving mouse will eat its own tail. Dolphins have no sense of smell. They can see and hear very well, though. The honey possum is a tiny Australian marsupial that is half the size of a mouse and feeds entirely on pollen and nectar. Basenji dogs have usually shaped larynxes and don't bark, they make a udal sound. A shark's liver makes up around a quarter of its body mass. It's so huge because it provides a buoyancy that others get from gas-filled swim bladders. Anteaters are the only mammals that have no teeth. Okay. A four-legged duckling was born on a duck farm in Hampshire, England. The farm owner named him Stumpy. When it attacks prey, a great white shark rolls its eyes backward to protect them. A fierce grasshopper mouse will defend its territory by yowling like a little wolf. At twilight, hundreds of thousands of bats fly out of Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. They form a dense whirlwind, but none of the bats ever hit each other. If you gently scratch a koala's fur, your fingers will smell of eucalyptus, their favorite fruit. Alright, guys, so we have gotten past the unbelievable, sorry, I was just locking the door so nobody could come in while I'm streaming. We got past the unbelievable animal facts, so we are now at page 100. And we're going to do the unbelievable history facts. So we're going to do the unbelievable history facts from page 100 to 129. So, I guess we're going to get on with cancerous live stream. I don't know. Alright. 19th century British Prime Minister William Gladstone was once injured in an attack by a cow during a country walk. In ancient Greece, they eat shark meat at women's festivals. The remains of Louis IX of France are in more than one place. Some of his entrails were buried where he died in Tunis in North Africa, others in Palermo, Italy, and one of his fingers in Paris. The rest of his body disappeared in the 16th century. Richard I of England, also known as Richard the Lionheart, died from an arrow wound that became gangrene. I think it's like infected. Before coins were invented, shells were used in many countries. The murder rate in the Middle Ages was about 10 times higher than it is today. One of the first glues was made by the ancient Egyptians from boiled up animal skins. The slinky toy was invented in the early 1940s after U.S. engineer Richard James Druppy torsion spring and thought its movements were fun. The first factory-produced toilet paper became available in 1857, and the U.S. people used all sorts of things before that, anything from leaves to fruit skins for the poor and lace or wool for the rich. The first 5 Tarzan films were silent, no Tarzan calls in those. Nelson Mandela's first name was Riley Ralahala, but his teacher couldn't pronounce it, so he chose Nelson for him instead, after Orlando Nelson. Arctic explorer John Hornby died of starvation after trying to spend a year without supplies by the Telian River in Canada. The ancient Egyptians were the first to establish a 365-day year. Gustav Eiffel originally intended to build his famous tower in Porcelain for the 1888 Universal Exposition, but its idea was rejected. The tug-of-war was an Olympic Games event between 1900 and 1950. 14th century traveler John Mendelvey wrote, "The cotton plant was a wonderful tree bore tiny lambs at the ends of its branches." Pretty lit there. Ancient Egyptians shaved their heads to stay cool in the heat and to keep from getting lice. 19th century artists and writers living in Paris were fond of a green alcoholic drink called also known as the Green Fairy. It was believed to be dangerously addictive and cause madness, and so it was banned in most countries by 1915. The Titanic sank in 1912, but its wreck wasn't discovered until 1985. Charlie Chaplin anonymously entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike competition and didn't win any prizes at all. Okay. The careers of many stars of silent movies collapsed with the arrival of talkies, movies with Leo II became the Byzantine emperor in 1474 when he was just 7 years old. Furnaces beneath the floors of buildings provided central heating systems in ancient times. Jimmy Carter was the first U.S. president to be born in a hospital. During the Ming Dynasty, important officials wore belt buckles carved from the beaks of hornbill birds. The first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, got carved as a child. A popular form of art in medieval Russia was the carving of walrus tusks. New Zealand mountaineer Sir Edmund Hillary spent his early adulthood as a beekeeper. Christopher Columbus wasn't the first European explorer to reach the Americas. Vikings had landed in Canada in the 10th or 11th century. Mozart wrote his first piece of music when he was just 5 years old. Clipperton Island in the East Pacific is a ring-shaped island with a lagoon in the middle that was named after an 18th century pirate. The lyre was an ancient Greek musical instrument made from a tortoise shell and some antelope horns. Vikings drank from the skulls of their defeated enemies. Neither of Joseph Haydn's parents could read music. That didn't stop him from becoming one of the world's most famous composers. In 1863, a naughty boy named Santana Tago Ramani Kaljul was locked up for destroying his town's main gate with his homemade cannon. He went on to become a top scientist. The Chinese invented fireworks for more than 2,000 years ago. The sound was created to scare off evil spirits. Deer antlers were used in the Stone Age to make axes, combs, and needles. Popes normally wear a tiara made from gold or silver for the coronation, but in the 1800s, Pope Pius XVIII one made from papier-mâché. The French rebellions had just stolen all the good ones. The mummy of Spitin showed that the young Egyptian ruler had a severely deformed foot. The Ernest Hemingway had a cat with 6 toes. Before high-speed drills were invented, dentists used slow hand drills on their patients' teeth. Native American teepees were originally made from animal skins. The hair from a young Roman's first shave would be offered to the gods. Emperor Nero put his in a lovely gold box with some pearls. The bullet that killed Admiral Horton Nelson is on display in Windsor Castle, England. French artist Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec broke both of his legs in his early teens. They stopped growing as an adult, and a fully grown torso and child's legs. Surveyor J.G. Tierney drowned while looking for a suitable site for the Hoover Dam in Nevada-Arizona border. Exactly 13 years later, his son died in a fall at the construction site of the dam. The construction of Barcelon's unique Sagrada Familia Church began in 1883. It still isn't finished. The work is due to be completed in 2026. During World War II, no Olympic Games were held. Ancient Chinese coins were rectangular with a hole in the middle. The hole was for stringing them together. The first helicopter flight lasted 20 seconds, with the rotary wing aircraft managing to get 1 foot 30 centimeters off the ground. India hasn't invaded another country in the last 10,000 years of history. 12 million Africans were taken to the Americans before the slave trade was banned in 1808. Within the space of 77 years, the Russian St. Petersburg had its name changed to Petrograd, then the Leningrad, then back to St. Petersburg again. The owl was a symbol of death for Aztecs, Mayans, ancient Romans. Hold on, guys. I will be right back. I think someone needs to come. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry, guys, about that. Here, I'm back. Okay. Some ancient tribes used animal. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see where I'm at. Okay. Dr. Mary Edwards Walker became the first female U.S. Army surgeon in 1863. She went on to fight dress reform and was arrested several times for wearing men's clothing. The owl was a symbol of death for the Aztecs, Mayans, and ancient Romans. Early concrete was made with volcanic ash. Some ancient tribes used animal dung to stiffen their hair, and you thought gel was stinky. All of Queen Anne of Great Britain's 18 children died before the age of 12. That would be absolutely pretty sad there, to have all your children die before the age of 12. Legendary American Olympic gold medalist Jesse Owens died of lung cancer after smoking for 35 years. How could you even be a competitor if you're smoking? Sunglasses were worn in China as long ago as the 12th century. With pieces of smoky quartz used as dark lenses, they were worn more to conceal facial expressions during the interrogation than protection against the sun. to shave off their beards in case the enemy used them as a handle to grab a hold of. Marilyn Monroe worked in an airplane parts factory before she became famous. I think it's Marilyn Monroe. It's Marilyn Monroe. U.S. President Woodrow Wilson's wife was a descendant of Native American Pohicans. The FA Cup is the oldest soccer competition. The first final was the 1872 between teams called the Wanderers. The Royal Engineers and the Wanderers won 1-0. At the center, Guy de Maupassant disliked the Eiffel Tower so much that he would often have lunch in its restaurant so he wouldn't have to look at it. The Volkswagen Beetle car was designed for Adolf Hitler by Friedrich Porsche. A sister ship of the Titanic was to be called Gigantic, but its name was changed to Britannic after the disaster involving the first ship. Britannic sank too after hitting a mine in 1916. In ancient times, children were considered to be grown-ups at the age of 2. They were expected to give up any toys to the gods. King Henry's the 19th first wife was chosen for him when he was 11 years old. Following his brother's death, he was to marry his brother's widow when he was old enough. King Henry the VIII, I don't even know what that's going to say. That V is 5, so 6 is King Henry the 7th, not 19th. I don't even know what it was saying. French aviator Henry Fabre made the first seaplane in 1910. The strange invention flew tail first and was called the Duck. President William Howard Taft was a big man, so big in fact that he kept getting stuck in the White House bathtub and a larger one had to be installed. Until the 18th century, it was considered unmanly to eat with a fork. Winston Churchill was born in a ladies' room in Belgium when his mother went to labor during a dance. Argentina was named in the 16th century country is rich in silver, so the name came from the Latin for silver Argentinum. Beer is one of the oldest drinks and was enjoyed by the ancient Egyptians. Hollywood icon James Dean starred in only 3 films, tragically died in a car crash at 24. Ancient anatomists believed that the arteries traffic air through the body. Blood pools in the veins after death so that the arteries of a corpse seem empty. Alan Shepard was the first astronaut to play golf on the moon. Champagne was invented by a merry French monk. Okay. The shape of a pyramid presents the rays of sun falling to earth. The step formation was designed so that the dead pharaoh inside could walk up the heaven on the sun rays. Murderous dictator the snappy title is Excellency President for Life, Field Marshal Alhaji. I don't even know what the hell. Dr. Idem VC Victoria DSOMC, Lord of all the beasts of earth and fishes of the sea, and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general to the Yuga in particular. I didn't even understand any of that paragraph at all. The first elevator shaft was invented 4 years before the elevator. African American Rosa Parks started a mass civil rights movement in 1955 when she was arrested for refusing to give up her bus to a white man. How could nobody know about Rosa Parks? I mean, who doesn't know about Rosa Parks? Honestly. Greek fire was a weapon used by the Byzantine Greeks in naval battles. A stream of burning fluid that could be put out with water was fired at enemy ships. In 1893, New Zealand became the first country to allow all its women to vote. Only 48 hat tricks, scoring 3 times, have been scored throughout the FIFA World Cup's history. None were scored during the 2006 tournament, but 8 were scored in 1954. The lead in pencils was never really no kill me. The lead in pencils was never really lead. Pencils were developed from graphite. Were used in the 16th century to mark sheep. At the first the first ones had casings made from string or sheepskin. The Romans built 53,000 miles of roads across the empire. That's a lot of digging. Early false teeth were made from hippopotamus bone and dead people's teeth. The first hard hat was known as a hard-boiled hat and was made from canvas hardened with glue and black. The 1938 radio broadcast H.G. Wells of War of the Worlds caused panic among many listeners who believed aliens really landed. That would be just great. John F. Kennedy could read so quickly that he often got through 2 or 3 books a day. He could speak quickly too, and for fastest public speaker. That's kind of actually cool. Okay. Oh, sorry. There we go. I just had to put all this down, because why not? Okay. John F. Kennedy, Soviet Constant Kafvinchia was the first woman in space in 1963, but it was another 19 years before the Russians allowed another woman to fly up there. I couldn't understand the name because it was Russian, so. The first affordable car, the Ford Model T, had 8 miles per hour and worked at a single pedal. Viking celebrity feasts would last for 10 days. 19th century Scottish explorer James Agnes Grant suffered severe swelling to his leg while in Africa and was given a hot poultice made from a cow dung, salt, and mud from the lake. It would be taken as mind-off pain if nothing else. Wealthy Egyptians were embalmed in honey when they died. The fire that started after 1906 San Francisco earthquake caused more damage to the earthquake. Caused more damage than the earthquake itself did. So the fire caused more damage than the earthquake. The Bomba prison tree is a huge hollow tree that was used to lock up prisoners on their way to Derby, Australia during the 19th century. 17 nations were involved in World War II. When the nudes in Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel paintings were considered too shocking, another artist was asked to paint clothes over the offending parts. St. Paul's Cathedral in London was built and rebuilt at least 5 times. The 16th century aristocrat Lucretius Borgia had a hollow ring that stored poison for use in her enemies' drinks. Ancient Greek engineer Archimedes invented the first luxury ship in the 3rd century BC. Large enough to carry 600 people, it had a garden, a temple, and even a gym. Why would you put a temple on a ship? Is it like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings trilogy took 12 years to write. The Tolkien's day job was as an Oxford University professor. Lightning struck the Eiffel Tower in 1902, damaging the monument's top, 328 feet, 10 meters. Frederick the Great preferred to the company of his greyhounds to people and wanted to be buried next to them when he died. His successor, Frederick II, was having none of it and had himself buried next to his father. Victorian mailmen in England wore red tunics and were known as robins. The best known Tarzan actor, Johnny Weissmuir, was an Olympic gold medal winning swimmer and set 67 world records in swimming. Cheviot Cave in southern France contains cave paintings that are more than 300,000 years old. 30,000 years old, oh my god. The remains of Christopher Columbus started off in Valencia, Spain, and were moved several times to Seneville, Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, Havana in Cuba, and back to Seville again. British Lord Palmerston was often late for appointments, even dinner with Queen Victoria. Ancient Greek perfume containers were such shapes as helmets and sandaled feet. Today's perfume bottles are a little more romantic. 17th century aristocrat Prince Rupert of the Rhine took his large poodle into a battle with him on several occasions. Why would you take your dog with you? People only begin to celebrate Christmas more than 400 years after Jesus Christ died. Later, under Oliver Cromwell, it was made illegal for more than a decade. The Tower of Pisa took 174 years to build. It was never even straight to begin with. 19th century bottles of champagne exploded that solar workers had to wear iron masks for protection. 19th century American poet Emily Dickinson wrote more than 1,700 poems, but fewer than a dozen were published in her lifetime. The waxy-looking, embalmed body of Soviet leader Vladimir Lenin has been on display on Red Square since he died in 1924. The first living beings to go up in a hot air balloon were a sheep, a duck, and a rooster in 1783. Slowed down the normally accurate Big Ben clock in London, and on New Year's Eve in 1962, making it the announced New Year 10 minutes late. Henry VIII decided that because she couldn't give him a son, his second wife, Annie Boleyn, must be a Polish-American pianist Joseph Hoffman had such small hands that he had to use a specialty-made piano with narrow keys, not arrow keys. Until 1984, no television programs were broadcast during the month of July in Iceland. What on earth did they do instead? Oh gosh, French novelist Victor Hugo also produced more than 4,000 drawings in his lifetime, sometimes using coffee or soot. General Ford was the longest living U.S. president, living to the age of 93 years, 165 days. The first ever newspaper was printed in 1605 and looked like a book. Can openers were invented 50 years after tin cans. The Nobel Peace Prize is named after Swedish chemist Alfred Nobel, the man who invented dynamite, earlier made from animal bone. American inventor Thomas Edison proposed to his wife in Morse code. A steeplejack did a parachute jump from the top of New York Statue of Liberty in 1912. Levi Strauss invented jeans in 1850. Then he saw a need for long-lasting pants among miners. His first versions were made with sailcloth. Then he improved to a French material called serge de Nimes, which became shortened to denim. The first Mercedes car was named after a company executive daughter. Even ancient Greek had rattles. Hollow clay shapes and bits of clay were inside to make the rattle sound. Louis XIV became king of France at age of 4 and went to region for 72 years. Yeah. The first job of British naturalist and explorer Alfred Wallace was a builder. Mystery surrounds the death of American writer Edgar Allan Poe. Was found wandering the streets in a delirious state, wearing someone else's clothes, and died shortly afterward. The name Wendy wasn't used because of the publication of J.D. Barrie's Peter Pan. Composer Anatole Valley started off as a violin teacher and was once fired from his job. American astronaut Buzz Aldrin's mother's maiden name was Moon. Alfred Nobel's studies on explosives tragically caused the death of his brother Emil in ignition. Yellow tennis balls weren't used at Wimbledon until 1986. Before that, they were white. Sugar Randy Robinson was one of the greatest boxers of all time, winning his first 40 fights as a professional. Danish cyclist Niels Bohr made his escape from the Nazis in 1943 in a fishing boat. This is kind of weird. Okay. Alright. This is kind of weird writing and stuff, so I can't, like, some of this stuff is kind of hard to understand, like all these weird names. But we're gonna continue to read this. The first lighthouse was built in 285 BC near Alexandria, Egypt. The light was created by a fire that had to be kept burning all night. Well, they didn't keep a lighthouse burning. Imagine how hot that would be in that lighthouse. 5 workers died during the construction of the Empire State Building in New York City. Nelson Mandela was one of the oldest elected president of South Africa, taking the age of 75. Viking coins were valued for their weight. If a Viking had to pay less for something, he would chip off a piece of his coin. Christmas 2004 was the first white Christmas in New Orleans, Louisiana for 50 years. Okay, guys, so we're done with the unbelievable history facts, and we're going to unbelievable science facts. So this will be lasting from page 129 to page 159. So we're going to go from 129 to 159 with the science facts. I mean, it's pretty lit. I'm going to pause the video and get something to drink because my throat is absolutely dead. So, guys, sorry I had to pause the video so much during this, but I'll be back in like 2 seconds. I am back with this. Okay, I am ready. Get prepared for this. And then the world record facts, and that's it. Okay, 2 more sections to go. Hazelnut trees can live for more than 500 years. A bolt of lightning so hot that if it hits sand, it can turn it into glass. 1 trillion metric tons of the world's water evaporates each day in the sun. Luckily, it all comes down when it rains. Scientists have created that contains human genes. Genetically modified rice was developed with a human liver gene and more recently smoke proteins. Dust from Africa and China can end up in North America, carried across the sea by trade winds. Only 1 in 1,000 oysters contains a pearl. Um, Italian Galileo was arrested for claiming that the sun was at the center of the universe. His books were also banned by the Catholic Church. The jumping spider doesn't use big energy needed, instead was created by a kind of hydraulic system that changes the pressure of its blood and quickly stiffens the leg. Water is the only substance that occurs naturally in liquid, solid, and gas forms. The supersonic airliner Concordia could fly around the world in 31 hours and 27 minutes, like super fast, super speedy. Earth isn't completely spherical. It bulges in the middle. If you take a ball and squash it slightly from the top to bottom, this is the shape of our planet. The coldest temperature ever measured on Earth was minus 129 degrees Fahrenheit at Volsk, Antarctica, on July 21st, 1983. Liquid nitrogen is sky blue. Silver has antibacterial properties and was used in many treatments before the invention of antibiotics. People would often put a silver coin in their milk to keep it from going sour. A freak summer hailstorm left Australian Canberra under a blanket of ice. In some parts of the city, the ice was up to 3 feet 1 meter deep. The Atlantic Ocean was increasing by width by 1 inch 3 centimeters every year. The gravity on Mars was less than 40% of that on Earth. That means if you could stand on Mars, you would weigh much less than you do now. Instant weight loss. It's so funny. Scottish biologist Alexander Fleming used multicolored bacteria to create germ paintings. The bacteria were visible as he painted, but it became colorless as they grew. The sun is 4.5 billion years old. Rainforests cover only 2% of the world's surface, but more than 50% of all of our plants and animals are found there. The largest part of an iceberg is hidden beneath the Earth's surface. Research shows that a deadly pufferfish poison contains cancer-fighting properties that may be used in future treatments. Hold on, guys. Alright. Okay. There is no such thing as moonlight. The light you see is a reflection of the sunlight off the moon's surface. Before the birth of the word scientist in 1833, scientists were known as natural philosophers or men of science. Women got pretty much left out back then. Mussels and oysters produce pearls. The paper for a US dollar bill is made from cotton. There have been several cases of the deadly smallpox virus since 1978, but cultures of the virus were held at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in the U.S. at the Institute of Virus Preparations in Siberia. Looking directly at the sun can cause permanent damage to the eyes. Volcanoes produce a kind of natural glass called obsidian. It can be formed into a fine cutting edge and is sharper than a steel scalpel blade and is used in cardiac surgery. The drug used to treat sleeping sickness contains arsenic and kills 10% of the patients who receive it. An exploding star is known as a supernova. And produces as much energy in a few months as the sun would ever over a billion of years. There are 500,000 distinct quakes around the world each year. Incandescent light bulbs are extremely inefficient. 95% of the power they use creates heat. Only 5% of it is used for the light itself. century engineer Hero of Alexandria invented the first vending machine. It disposed holy water. British scientist Philip D. R.C. Hart lived until the age of 106 and is still doing research at the age of 100. Um, I just got dared to do this. Rorix D. Okay. The Alamansaurus was a prehistoric marine reptile that weighed several metric tons. Its neck was so long that it made up over half of its total length of 46 feet. If an ostrich really did bury its head in the sand, it would suffocate. The three main types of meteorite are made of stone, iron, or a mixture of the two. It may look fragile, but spider silk is very strong, tougher than steel wire of its thickness. So if you had a steel wire as thick as spider string, it's the oil is made from the remains of plants and animals that lived millions of years ago. That's why it could eventually run out. That's really not like mind-boggling there because I mean, who doesn't know that? Peat moss can hold up to 20 times its dry weight in water, but a bit like a sponge. It's like a bit like a sponge. There we go. If you walked on the moon without a spacesuit, you would get badly sunburned within a few seconds. Luckily, our planet's atmosphere keeps us from burning so quickly. The people of Kathmandu in Nepal were shocked when it snowed in February 2007. It hadn't snowed there for 63 years. The male mince the thrush senses that bad weather is coming in signs. From the top of the tree to the rooftop, it is used to be known as a storm clock. Oak trees don't produce acorns until they are 50 years old. A lungfish can live out of water for up to 4 years. During seasons, it burrows in the mud and breathes through a pair of basic lungs. At least 90% of plants developed on fungi for their survival. Dinosaurs roamed the earth for more than 100 million years. A million meteors enter the Earth's atmosphere every day. Luckily, most of them are only the size of a grain of sand. Most people stay as far away as possible from a tornado, but American filmmaker Sean Casey wants to sit inside one. She has built an armor-plated tornado intercept vehicle so that she can film a direct hit from a tornado and record its speed. Potassium chloride is used to stop the heart during cardiac surgery. Atoms are particles so tiny 4 trillion would fit in this period, and the period's like so small. Uniforms for the police in Gujarat, India, are impregnated with a permanent fresh flower and citrus fragrance. The latest fiber optic technologically means that they can also be seen in the dark. I didn't even understand that paragraph. Light is the fastest thing in the universe. It travels at around 356,232 miles per second. 185,232 miles per second. 300,000 kilometers per second. I actually know the actual number of miles. It just rounded to 185,000. Earmuffs were invented by a 15-year-old American boy in the 19th century. Researchers have monitored the movements of bees by attacking tiny barcodes on them. Poor bees have barcodes on them. Some types of bamboo can grow 3 feet, 90 centimeters in a day. You can almost see that growing. In electrons, a jiffy is 1/60th electronics. Tropical cloud forests are shrouded in the mist most of the time. A lack of sunlight means that the trees tend to be shorter than in rainforests, and the ground is covered in moss. The Welconvicio desert plant can live for more than 1,000 years and looks like a stranded octopus. Its leaves separate into straggly stripes that look like tentacles. Parts of India, Brazil, and the US, car fuel is made of sugar. That's pretty cool. Sand is mostly made from tiny pieces of the mineral quartz. American engineer Percy Spencer invented the microwave oven after a chocolate bar melted in his pocket as he stood next to a radiator tube. The first traffic lights were manually operated red and green gas lights placed outside London's Houses of Parliament. Unfortunately, they exploded and injured a policeman who was operating. The largest volcano in Hawaii is more than 9 miles, 15 kilometers high, with its base at the sea. That's crazy. That's actually the mountain, or the largest volcano, but the tallest mountain in the world is located somewhere in Hawaii. But most of it's suspended under the sea, which is like they call the tallest, the highest peak is the other one, the mount. Oh my god, I can't even think of the tallest mountain in the world. I am so dumb. Like, my brain is dead right now. It takes 1 day for Earth to rotate on its axis. It doesn't last 24 hours, but 23 hours and 56 minutes, which is why we have daylight savings time. No, which is why we have every 4 years we have an extra day. It's because all these minutes are like adding up, so we have to have another day in order for our clocks to be 24 hours, or our time would be messed up. So that's why every 4 years we have an extra day, because a day is actually 23 hours and 56 minutes. Okay. Siamese kittens are cream in color. As they grow, the coolest parts of the body darken due to an enzyme in their hair. That is heat activated. Daytime temperature on Mercury is about 806 degrees Fahrenheit, 430 degrees Celsius. That's hot. Drips of molten glass cooled in water to form tadpole-shaped glass droplets that shatter into powder of the tail. It is weakened. They are known as Prince Rupert's drops, after the inventor Prince Rupert of the rhyme, who used to play jokes. You can be struck by lightning even if you're indoors. A bolt can travel down phone lines, electric cables, plumbing pipes. Keep away from them during an electrical storm. You can be struck by lightning even if you're indoors. No, did I just read the same thing? I am dead right now. Okay. When bacteria was first described, they were named animalcules, or okay. Water is 9% lighter than it's frozen. That's why your ice cubes float. Water is 9% lighter when frozen. That's why your ice cubes float. Verja is rain that evaporates before it reaches the ground. Now that's cool. Baikal seals can be found only in Lake Baikal, Siberia. The lake is a long way from the ocean, so how they got there is a scientific mystery. Sapphires can be thrown clear, gray, or black, as well as blue. The leaf of the giant Amazon water lily is so strong you could sit on it without sinking. It took Saturn more than 29 years to rotate the sun. Tyrannosaurus rex was so heavy that if it fell over, it would have died from impact. Those little arms were no good for breaking its fall either. Ultraviolet light from the sun has antiseptic properties and causes sunburn too. The world's first hydroelectric power station used water from a lake to light a country house in Northumberland, England, in 1870. Silver conducts heat and electricity more quickly than any other metal. Mad Siberian scientist Nikola Tesla was obsessed with the number 3. He would have walked around the block 3 times before entering a building, and said the number of any hotel room he stayed in had to be divisible by 3 or was 3. Young green tree pythons are yellow, red, or brown. The Kingo tree is a living fossil. It means it's a unique tree with no close living relatives and dates back to 270 million years. In 1930, a University of Queensland professor did an experiment with a funnel of pitch tar to show his students that how something that appears solid can be liquid. The first drip took 10 years to fall, and the eighth drip fell in 2000. It will be 100 years before the pitch has dripped through. Long, long experiment. That one's pretty interesting, I think. It rains at the same time every day in rainforests on the equator. Some bacteria are sensitive to the Earth's magnetic field. Magnetic bacteria all point to magnetic north. Earth stars are mushrooms that open up into a star shape. 8% of the world's deserts aren't sandy but rocky. Some are salt covered and few are even icy. Some deserts are icy. A desert means like a piece of land that's incredibly dry. So something that has ice, that doesn't mean it's wet because the ice is actually really dry. Your nervous system is constantly sending messages around the body by electrical pulses. A British scientist decided to make his 4 children on a trek up part of Mount Everest to research how their bodies coped with low oxygen levels. That's one way you earn your pocket money, kids. The first raincoats designed by Charles Mick were made by waterproof with rubber and byproduct of coal tar. They kept people dry, but the smell was horrible. That last one was so funny. That's how you earn your pocket money, kids. I'm dying of laughter. Aren't teardrop shaped. Small ones are spherical, and larger ones are flat on the bottom, kind of like a hamburger bun shaped. The people of Siberia were surprised when they looked out one morning and saw a blanket of orange snow. The reason for the freaky color remained a mystery, but it was believed to have been caused by pollution. Well, of course it was caused by pollution. I mean, what else could it be caused by, honestly? Like, come on, people. Okay, sorry. Gold is the softest metal. A traditional test was to bite it and see if if it left a teeth mark. Finland has 187,088 lakes and 179,584 islands. The World Wide Web was born in 1991. There are over 100 million internet users globally. Diamonds are so hard that the only other diamonds can scratch them. The only other diamonds can scratch them. So, yeah. Until the 15th century, Christian scholars believed that Jerusalem was the center of the universe, that the Earth was a flat disk surrounded by oceans. The alarm clocks were created for monks in the 14th century and made sure that they didn't miss their morning prayers. Less than 1% of all the water on your planet is drinkable. The planet Mars was named after a Roman god of war because it looks red and the color of blood. It takes 10 minutes for rain to drop through the dense levels of rain forest and reach the forest floor. That's pretty interesting. The dodo bird was made extinct only 80 years after it was discovered. American scientist Benjamin Franklin had bad eyesight and got so fed up with switching between different pairs of spectacles that he invented bifocals. There was no such thing as bullet-proof glass, only bullet-resistant glass. One way bullet-resistant glass has recently been invented for armored vehicles, protecting the occupants but allowing them to defend themselves. Of the world's population is infected with tuberculosis, TB. One person per second picks up the bacteria. Some people carry TB, but not become ill from it themselves. Chalk is made from fossilized skeletons of tiny sea animals. The 10 highest mountains in the world are all in the Himalayas. The Eiffel Tower was painted in 3 different colors. Because the effects of light and background, three shapes are needed to make it appear to be one color. Some rocks can float. Like eruption, the violent separation of gas from lava produces a frothy rock called pumice, which is loaded with gas bubbles. Flash floods and landslides unearthed an ancient tree trunk in Switzerland. The white pine trunk, believed to have been preserved in ice, was examined by experts and found to be 2,815 years old. A hurricane north of the equator spins counterclockwise, while a hurricane south of the equator will spin clockwise. Yucca plants and yucca moths depend on each other for survival. The small moth is the only that can pollinate the plants as it feeds. Every rainbow is unique. Each rainbow is formed from light hitting your eye to every precise angle. Someone standing next to you will see the light coming from a slightly different angle than you, and therefore will see a different rainbow. Pure water is a light shade of blue. You can tell if an egg is hard boiled or not by spinning it. If the inside is solid, it will keep spinning. If the egg is raw, the liquid contents will stop the egg spinning within 3 rotations. Even if it's not shaken out of its even if it's not taken out of its packaging, a disposable battery will lose up to 25% of its power in a year. The cracks in breaking glass will travel at more than 3,000 miles per hour. Wow, that's a lot. That's why when you hit something with glass, it just instantly is there. So I think it's pretty cool. There are earthquakes on the moon, called moonquakes, of course. So funny. There are also ice in Antarctica. There are more than 150 giant craters around the world, left by fallen meteorites. The largest one is in Arizona. It measures more than 4,000 feet, 1,200 meters in diameter, and was created about 50,000 years ago. Water can cut through steel. Water jet tools shoot through a fine nozzle, which at such high pressure that the jet cuts metal, and it never needs burning. It's actually kind of cool. Look at that. German scientist Joseph von Mering and Oksher Makwasi discovered diabetes. When out of curiosity, they removed the pancreas from a dog and monitored the effects. Poor dog. Diamond dust is a kind of glittering polar frog made up of tiny ice crystals. Fog, not frog. 19th century British chemist Humphrey Davy was addicted to nitrous oxide, laughing gas. It'd be great to just, I don't know, what kind of addictions people get on. Iron and sulfur compounds are present in eggs. If you hard boil an egg for too long, those compounds will show up as a green coating around the yolk. The middle of the Antarctic, two of the rock plates that make up the surface of Earth, the African plate and the American plate, are moving apart at about the same speed as your fingernails grow. Uranus was originally called Georgian Planet after King George III. Salt and vinegar is an explosive combination. There is a spectacular chemical reaction when the two are mixed in large quantities. Don't try it yourself, though. Earth is traveling through space at an astonishing 65,000 miles per hour. Burning potassium gives off a violent flame. Italian genius Leonardo da Vinci was a very busy man. In addition to being a painter and inventor, he was an engineer and mathematician, architect, astronomer, musician, scientist, sculptor, mathematician, and writer. Wow. The largest, heaviest land animal that ever lived was Argentinosaurus. It grew up to 115 feet, 35 meters long, and weighed 80 to 1,000 metric tons. There are 1 million bacteria and a millimeter of fresh water. A solar eclipse can be seen from the same place only once every 370 years. Stainless steel can Stainless steel and water can neutralize strong odors such as garlic and fish. Soap-shaped pieces of steel are available, but a spoon is just as effective. A spoon probably wouldn't work because most spoons aren't real metal. The poison arsenic occurs naturally throughout the crust and can pollute drinking water. The moon used to be much closer to our planet than it is. A billion years ago, it would only take 20 days to go around Earth, compared to the 27 days it takes now. It is still moving away about 1.5 inches 4 centimeters every year. Despite being as big as several countries, China is only one time zone. Until 1949, it had 5. So China has 5 time zones, and it's one of the biggest countries. So it's pretty cool. The biggest stars in the galaxy are called supergiants or hypergiants. A red supergiant can be 1,500 times bigger than the sun. Venus is shrouded in clouds of sulfur dioxide and sulfur acid. An oily plant substance called petrichor, I don't know how to pronounce it, is what causes the refreshing smell after rainfall. Plants secrete it during the day. During an oily plant substance called petrichor is what causes the refreshing smell after rainfall. Plants synchronize it during dry periods, and scent is released when it rains. There we go. Oh. The hagfish secretes a unique slimy mucus. It's reinforced with fine, strong fibers similar to spider silk. Long before Alexander Fleming discovered pelican, ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks recognized that some of the molds had antibacterial properties and used them for dressing wounds. Migrating birds are sensitive to the Earth's magnetic field and use it to guide them during their flights. There are no polar ice caps. 90 million years ago, and Alaska was. There are no polar ice caps. There were no polar ice caps 90 million years ago. Alaska was as warm as Southern California is now. Beer crater on Mars is named after German astronomer Belgium Beer. Baobab trees, also known as monkey bread trees, can store up to 120,000 liters, 252,605 pints of water in their trunks. This is to make sure that they survive during long droughts. Most colors have a wavelength, but brown doesn't. It's just a combination of other colors and their wavelengths. Okay, guys, we are done with unbelievable science facts. So we're on page 100. We're at page 200 now. Okay, finished it. So now we're going to read from page 200. So 200 to 1. Oh wow. I am at page 160. So we're gonna read from 160 to 207. Okay. I didn't understand what page I was on. So 160 to 207. Wow, this is a really long chapter. Oh, and we also have. Okay, we're gonna read for this chapter. I forgot about one. What's that light? It's all. Oh, that must be my thing. Or something. Unbelievable world record facts. Go to. I don't even know where this ends. Honestly, we're just gonna. Yeah. Because we have random facts at the end. So, anyway, we got 160 to 120. So we've got a while to go either way. Let's see how long the stream has been. Alright. Alright. Let's go. Okay, caution. Some of these world record facts involve dangerous activities. They have been sent provide people proper medical guidance. Don't try any of them at home. Not planning on it. Solution Hasselbalch of Briol has the largest collection of Rolls-Royce bicycles. He owns about 150. He has 2,000 other luxury cars too. Kauai in Hawaii is the world's most and has been erupting non-stop since 1983. I'd love to live by that thing. American Austria Furman broke the fastest skipping record in 2007 by skipping 3.1 miles, 5 kilometers in 35 minutes. He skipped a tiger temple in Thailand and a tiger trotting alongside of him most of the way. The youngest person to reach the top of Mount Everest was 15-year-old Ming Kipa Sherpa in 2003. Jellyfish is the most venomous type with a sting that can kill in 4 minutes. Josh Stone was the youngest BRIT award winner when he won 2 awards at age 18 in 2005. Astronomers spotted the fastest star in the galaxy in 2005. It was zooming through the Milky Way a million kilometers per hour. The only known koala twins were born in 1999 in Queensland. 250,000 brightly colored power balls were used for the Sony Bravia TV advertisement, the most props ever used in a commercial. The world's tallest building is Taipei 101 in Taiwan, which stands 1,666 feet high. The bee hummingbird is the smallest bird. The male measures just 2.24 inches. In Russia has a record 15,000 circus performers. The largest insectivore is the moon rat, a kind of hedgehog. Its full length is about 2 feet 60 centimeters. The largest meteorite from Mars weighed 40 pounds and landed in Nigeria. The longest cuddle ever lasted for 5,000 years. Archaeologists discovered a pair of unwitted skeletons in northern Italy and believe the couple to be from the Neolithic period. I don't know. The world's smallest owl. It's the same size as a sparrow. A record number of 269 Asian elephants gathered to eat over 11,231 pounds of fruit and vegetables at Thailand's 2003 annual elephant parade. Some places on Earth are covered in salt. The largest salt flats are in Bolivia, where 10 billion metric tons of salt cover an area of 4,600 square miles. The youngest FIFA World Cup final scorer is Pelé, who was just 17 when he scored for Brazil in 1958. How many Australians can you get on a surfboard? 47 on a special one, and they all rode a wave on it. The U.S. has the largest air force in the world, with more than 6,000 aircrafts. The smallest spy plane isn't much bigger than your hand. The Black Widow was developed to carry a miniature video camera. The longest motorcycle journey was completed by a group of 14 members of the Swedish Army Lions motorcycle display team. They rode their Hundsberg 400cc bikes backward for a distance of 10.87 miles to commemorate the 600th anniversary of their hometown, Skokville. Hold on, guys. I will be right back in 2 seconds. So it's like literally just 2 seconds. Sorry guys, I'm back now. There we go. Okay. Alright. We're going to continue this serious live stream. Okay. The world's biggest aquarium opened in 2005 in Atlanta, Georgia. The aquarium contains more than 100,000 sea creatures. Cream Puff the cat lived to the ripe old age of 38 years, 3 days. That's 150 cat years. The oldest person to grow a new tooth was 61. At the age of 22, Fernando Alonso became the youngest driver to win a Formula One World Championship race when he won the 2003 Hungarian Grand Prix. The thieves staged the largest ever jewel robbery when they got away with $100 million worth of gems. From the Antwerp World Diamond Center in 2003. The oldest person to grow a new tooth was 61. Imagine losing a tooth at 61 years old. But Hurricane Wilma was the strongest hurricane ever, with wind speeds reaching 165 miles per hour. The longest word in the English language is the name of a lung disease called... I'm going to skip that and hold on a second. Doctor Who is the longest running science fiction TV series on the BBC broadcast, and the first episode was in 1963. Here we go. I don't know if you can see this. But that right there, this is probably pretty cancerous, but that's the longest word in the English dictionary. It's backwards, by the way, but you know, whatever. Pretty cancerous. I'm gonna attempt to Femicranicensis. I'm going to put that in on the Google search bar right now, and I'm gonna let the Google search person tell me how I pronounce that, because, you know, why not? This should come up after just a minute. Okay, here it is. Yep, alright. Now I'm going to have, I think you can have her read it, like a little thing. Copy, and then Google. Yeah. Alright. Pretty lit. Alright, so we're going to Google Voice. Here. No, no, I don't want this. Okay, never mind. Can I just have a little, oh, yes, okay, I can do it. Okay, I think I put it in Cortana. Yeah, there we go. Put it in Cortana. There we go. Now she can say that. Alright. I'm gonna attempt to do this for a little bit longer, and then I'm probably just gonna, yeah, quit. Oh, there's actually a video. There we go. Alright. Let's see how you let's see how you pronounce this. Alright. Well, I'm gonna stop with that cancer. let's just let's just continue this because and I'm pretty much done. The fastest sound served came from an American Andy, 153 miles per hour. American Richard Presley lived in an underwater module for 69 days, 19 minutes as part of a research into the effects of living under the sea. 3 children in a Norwegian Henstrick family were born 4 years apart on a leap day. Northern Irish have the highest rate of heart disease in the world. Daredevil Stephen Brown rode a motorcycle through a tunnel of fire that was 167 feet long. American cyclist Scott Coons cycled a 13.15 miles around a track with no hands. Hasn't anyone told him that's dangerous? North and South America make up the largest area of lands named after one person, 15th century Italian explorer Amerigo Vespucci. Adding Lincoln to a giant tortoise was the world's largest animal. He died in India at a grand age of 255, and his 5-foot, 1.5 meter wide shell later on display in a local museum. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna pause this for a second. What? Okay, guys. Sorry, I'm back. Alright. The biggest recorded meteor shower fell over the Pacific Ocean in 1966 when shooting stars shot across the sky in 20 minutes. The gecko is the only lizard that makes noises. The world's longest banana split was more than 4 miles long. German Jacqueline Traber performed the fastest motorcycle wheelie on a tightrope in 2005 by traveling at 30 miles per hour. Steve Griffiths and Philip John have both been dog snorkeling world champions 3 times. Russian cosmonaut Valery okay. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna do this challenge request. Oh my guys. There we go. Alright. Russian cosmonaut recording. He spent 437 days in space and orbited Earth more than 7,000 times. The most brightly colored dolphin is the Chinese pink dolphin. Its color comes from the large number of blood vessels near the surface of its skin. The world's first female prime minister was Sir Lankan Servo Benkari, who took office in 1960. A watermelon is 92% water, the highest percentage of any fruit. Servian in South America was the fewest movie theaters per population. One movie theater for more than 436,000. Bet that place was crowded. Speed skater Julia Lee from China took just 1 minute 42 seconds to get around a 328,000-foot 1-meter track in 2014. The bunchery dogwood flower opens its petals at 0.5 milliseconds. The shark's sense of smell is better than any of the other fish. It can detect 1 part of blood in 100 million parts of water. The wettest place on Earth is the Italian town of Kerchikzi, with an average annual rainfall of 2 inches. More than 200 million people have visited the Eiffel Tower since it was built, making it the world's most visited monument. A record 6,272 pounds of plastic ice was to make it at Marion and Vince Gromit in the course of the Were Rabbit. The largest pink lake in Seagull was measured by 5 miles, 1.5 kilometers. The color comes from minerals and microorganisms. Spiders, Arabella and Antia, were the first to spin webs in space in 1973. The U.S. producers more the U.S. producers were more household waste per person than any. Sir Don Bremen and Bremen Laura are the only two batsmen to test match cricket to have scored 2 innings of more than 300 runs. The howler monkey is the loudest animal. It can be heard for more than 3 miles away. The red howler monkey is the noisiest. In West British TV chief James Martin, he peeled and chopped 18 ounces, 515 grams in 1 minute. The worst air show ever disaster happened in 2002 when a fighter jet crashed into spectators in Ukraine and killed 78 people, injuring more than 100. French skater Steven Alpha performed a record 16 consecutive flat spins on inline stakes in 2005. Oh, guys. Hold on, guys. Let me just Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm done. Okay, hold on. Alright. The largest living structure on Earth is the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It's over 1,200 miles long. The German iguana is the rarest lizard. Only about 100 exist. French skater. Okay. The heaviest object ever was the Launch Pad Revolving Series Structure (RSS). NASA's Kennedy Space Center, Florida. The RSS weighed 5 million pounds. The longest TV advertisement was for lifting green tea and lasted a snoozy 24 minutes. The youngest person to reach the South Pole was 18-year-old Sarah Landry in 2005. German golfers Eric Kitcher and Patrick Harrisel played 6 rounds of golf in 6 different countries in one day. Edmund Lorich was the world's youngest musical composer at 14 years, 76 days, when his musical Star of the King was performed on August 16, 2002 in Hungary. That's pretty cool there. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I have to move the camera. I have to see this. Dumb. I have to put this in this little notepad thing so I can just, yeah, there we go. Alright, yeah, thanks. Alright. The youngest person, American Mike Rooftop Askilla holds the record for longest BMX backflip at a distance of 62 feet 2 inches. Okay. The top Double Chiefs made a date for banana cake, and stretched along the seafront for 8,000 feet. In 1996. The Arctic tern was the longest migration of any bird. It breeds in the Arctic, flies south to Antarctica during the northern winter, and flies back again. Russia has a limit country. Chelsea soccer club player Frank Lippard played in a record 160 consecutive Premiership matches. The world's largest ice hotel is in Sweden and is built every year in December. The fastest production car is the Bugatti Veyron, which can be driven at speeds of more than 248 miles per hour. ocean is in the Pacific. It takes up 49% of the Earth's oceans. The longest earthquake lasted for 10 minutes in Samaria and Tamim Islands. The world's premature surviving baby was Amelia Taylor, who was just the length of a ballpoint pen when she was born at least 22 weeks, at less than 22 weeks. German race car driver Michael Schumacher holds two world records. He was won the most Grand Prix races, 83, and was the most world championship in Formula. A U.S. restaurant produced the world's biggest burger for charity event. It contained an 80-pound, 48-kilogram beef patty and 160 cheese slices. Enormous hailstones caused around $1 billion worth of damage during a night in Mich, Germany, making it the worst damage toll from a hailstorm ever. The highest internet cafe in the world is at Mount Everest Base Camp, more than 16,600 feet above sea level. Hold on, guys. Okay. American Tiffany Turner has been skied on every continent except for Antarctica by the age of 14. Well, he's skied everywhere. And then the smallest animal trained to detect landmines is the honeybee. Scottish store owner Selim Skinner set a world record when he was wrapped 10 portions of fries for 1 minute National Cup weekend event. Athletes Justin Gaulf and Asifa Powell both run the 100-meter race in 1977 in 9.77 seconds. See how quickly you can do it? Dallas Golden Retriever Augie could hold 5 tennis balls in his mouth at once. The world's leading ice cream eaters were Australians, gobbling 3.6 gallons per person each year. The largest hoard of coins was discovered in 1908, when 150,000 13th century coins are unearthed in Belgium. The noisiest spider is the European buzzing spider. Its male makes a buzzing sound that vibrates on its abdomen against a leaf to attract a mate. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system, is more than 300 times bigger than the Earth. Alright. American rapper 50 Cent had a record 3 singles in the U.S. Billboard Top 10 in 2005 Candy Shop, How We Do, and Disco Inferno. The largest toothpick sculpture was Alligator Alley, made by American Mitchell Smith for more than 3 million toothpicks. The banana is known as 40 different names, the most for any animal. Karen Daves Bridgman has won the Toe Wrestling World Championships a record 4 times. The fastest lava flow burst from Nigro, Korea into the Democratic Republic of Congo at 40 miles per hour. In 2005, Hans van den Helst from the U.S. completed 51 yo-yo tricks in 1 minute. Japan's Big O is the world's first counterless Ferris wheel. It has Tokyo's biggest roller coaster running right through it. The highest temperature recorded in the shade was 136 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. At Alicia in Libya, and was in 1922 before anyone had ever heard of global warming. Astronaut Keelan Sherman was the first Briton in space, 1991. American Dale Webster served every day between September 2nd, 1975 and February 29, 2004, chalking up a world record 10,407 days of consecutive surfing. Awesome. Brazilian soccer star Ronald The sailfish can whiz along at a record speed of 60 miles, 100 kilometers per hour. Canada's rail scandal skateway is 4.8 miles long and is the largest natural frozen ice rink. Australian Kay Cottee was the first woman to sail around the world solo nonstop in 1988. The Dumbo octopus, also called because of its flapping frills look like an elephant's ears, lives deeper in the ocean than any other octopus at 50,000 feet. A burgerer Puck knew a record of 1,728 awards before he died in 1994. The lowest temperature endured is minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 20 degrees Celsius. Yeah, an Arctic chill felt by emperor penguins. American Gary Dutschel has been collecting gum wrappers for more than 40 years. It is linked to more than a million wrappers to make a record-breaking chain that is more than 45,000 feet long. American Heart did a parachute jump at the age of 96 days old. It's never too late. Wacky scientist Nikola Tesla created the largest man-made bolt of lightning. In his lab in 1899. It was 130 feet long and could be heard for miles. The longest wall is the Great Wall of China until the Trump Wall is built. At 2,150 miles, 3,460 kilometers, is 3 times the length of Britain. Catherine Rasawi ate 170 Smarties in 3 minutes using chopsticks. You can try that one at home. Carnivorous plants that devour the largest prey from the Neptilian family of Asia rainforest. Plants can digest frogs and birds and rats. The largest kangaroo is as tall as a man. The red kangaroo can be up to 5 feet 11 inches tall. The smallest nest is built by the Vermeerian hummingbird and is the size of half a walnut shell. I have a question. Do they use a walnut shell for their nest? That'd be yeah. The most heat tolerant organism lives in the boiling hot hydro vents at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Bacteria like strain 121 can survive temperatures of 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 121 degrees Celsius. Ashura firma is the U.S. Ashura firmian of the U.S. jumped 23.11 miles on a pogo stick in 1997. 23 miles on a pogo stick. Jurgen Emilio Ernest Flora began collecting key rings in 1955 and now has more than 25,630. In 2003, American Jay Stokes made 534 parachute jumps in 24 hours. That's a jump every 2.5 minutes, and out of the or in the rain. Wow. The oldest playable instrument. Why would you do a parachute jump in the rain? I wouldn't do one, let alone without the rain. In the rain? Kidding me? Parachute malfunction or get too heavy or something. The oldest playable instrument is 9,000-year-old Chinese flute and is made from a bird's leg bone. The fastest FIFA World Cup red card issue went to Jurgen player Basila 56 seconds into the 1986 match against Scotland. The world's longest was 57 feet 4 inches, 17.5 meters long. Pharaoh Phillips II ruled for a record 94 years from the age of 6. Australian Korean Oates sent the hula hoop world record in 2005 with 100 hula hoops at once. See how many you can manage. The oldest commissioned warship still afloat is the USS Constitution, which has been port of the U.S. Navy since 1797. The Japanese are the biggest comic readers. Their manga comics account for 40% of all printed material sold, so that's why Chinese mangas and stuff are so popular. African Pato's monkey can race along the ground at 34 miles, 55 kilometers an hour, making it the fastest primate. Deepest half motion took place in a polished salt mine at a depth of 695 feet, 121 meters. Internal goals scored by a female soccer player is 144 by American Mai Ham. U.S. astronauts Edgy Cernan and Harrison Scott Schmitt took 9 hours outside on their module and explored 12.6 miles on the moon's surface. Hold on, guys. Responding. The Japanese are the biggest comic readers of their manga comic. Okay, yeah, I already read this. The largest number of living creatures proceeded during the performance was 80,000 bees in Penn and Teller show. The largest set of Russian nesting dolls contained 51 pieces that were hand-painted by artist Yulia Bensarikensky. The smallest doll was just 0.12 inches high. The first Olympic Games was held in 776 BC. The largest same-name gathering took place in 2005 when 1,096 Mohammedans got together in Dubai. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings film Return of the King won record 11 Oscars. Well, I've been messing with this chair and I just snapped. Peacock mantis shrimp has the strongest animal punch. Its front leg moves at 75 feet per second to club its prey. Well, that's just great. Louisiana's second bridge of Lake Causeway is the world's largest bridge and 23.8 miles, 38.4 kilometers long. If you stand in the middle of it, you can't see either end. Wow, that's a pretty big bridge. The youngest person to visit the wreck of the Titanic was 13-year-old Sebastian Harris in 2005. I'd like to visit the wreckage of the Titanic. That'd be lit. Australian Minnie Monroe became the oldest bride when she got married at the age of 102. She must have divorced or something. Oh. The American Anchirian Temperian spider is the strongest known web, tough enough to ensnare a mouse. Wow, that definitely catch me then, or someone like finger. That'd be pretty bad. Mandarin Chinese is the most popular spoken language. Mandarin, yeah, in the world with 19 speakers. Okay. Elvis Presley is the richest dead celebrity. He earned $45 million in 2005 alone. 19th scuba dive. Wait, I think his wife gets that money or something. I don't know. He took part in the largest underwater cycle races. I don't see how a dead celebrity earn any money. I'm sorry. 19 scuba divers took part in the largest underwater scuba dive cycle race in Jerusalem, UK in 2005. As part of his job, America W.R. Rusky High was a human crash test dummy in a record 718 collisions. That guy's dumb. That guy's just retarded. The longest non-stop commercial airline flight was from Hong Kong to London and took 22 hours, 42 minutes. Oh my god. Okay, guys. We are done with the unbelievable world record facts. We're on to the shortest chapter in the entire book from page 100, from page 190 through 207. I thought I had less pages to go than I really did, so I got more stuff to go, but I am excited. I'm almost finished. Streams have been going for about three hours now. Never read this whole book. Oh my gosh. Okay. Unbelievable random facts. Here we go. We're just going to finish this up. Only a few more pages to go. Made it this far. I can do it. Alright. The Empire State Building is struck by lightning about 100 times every year. The nearsighted cocaine granddad sparked a police manhunt when he went to collect his grandson from daycare and took the wrong boy home. World War II veteran Don Carlos had been blind for 64 years. How does the kid not even know that that's not his grandson? Like, what? Is he, like, that young? Okay. Oh. After receiving a skirmish wound, his sight was miraculously restored and head-butted by... And, hold on, guys. Alright. I was head-butted a racehorse and was looking... Now, this doesn't have a category, by the way, so it's just like a bunch of random stuff. Yeah. There are no donkeys in the Donkey Kong game. Wow. Carnage on the Nebraska Plains is a replica of England's Stonehenge, made with 38 miniature cars and are painted gray. There are more than 32,000 radio stations around the world. Fake snow used to be made from asbestos, so people would have sprinkled the toxic material around their home. Hawaiians consume more spam than anyone else in the world. I think spam tastes like cat food. It's disgusting. Swiss pilot designed wings and jet engines that could be strapped to his back to allow him to fly. He couldn't run fast. He couldn't run fast, even though he couldn't run fast enough to take off. Though he had to jump from an airborne airplane. Wow. COP is short for constable on patrol. Watermelon and snow is found in California's Sierra Nevada algae. Make it pink, and it smells of watermelon too. Some twins create their own language. It's called Sicaria Simputia, that only they can understand. A sick Yorkshire Terrier was found by a vet to have swallowed 8 party balloons. After they were removed, it must have felt a little deflated. Haha, so funny. Blue snow fleds can be spotted around on the snow on a winter's day. Bioextinctions the world's tallest man of 2 dolphins in 2006 by reaching into their stomachs with his long arms, which measure 42 inches, 1.06 centimeters, and removing pieces of plastic. Attempting to go over Niagara Falls is illegal. Several people have drowned or injured doing so. A crazy Romanian man, baby daughter, after one of his favorite Mercedes cars, SLK. If he'd had a boy, he would have named him BMW. What are people? Japanese kimono makers wear their broken needles. They hold a special festival for them during Kairio, which is the women thank the needles for their hard work and place them in a slab of tofu. A dog had to be rescued by the Coast Guard after it ran off the edge of a cliff while chasing seagulls. A British study of 2,000 people showed that more men than women like a cuddly toy to take to bed with them when they go to sleep. Stewardesses are the longest word that can be used typing It can be used to typing on the left half of the keyboard. Australian notes are waterproof. Red rain fell in the Indian state of Kerala in 2001. The reason for the strange color is still a mystery, but the theories range from algae spores to or pollution to the blood of bats or extraterrestrials. The clean toilet brings good fortune. They have books on the subject. There are 25% of the world's natural gas reserves in Russia. The Eiffel Tower stays up to 3 inches, nearly 7 centimeters in the wind. The great-grandmother outdid her fishing champion on the family vacation to Florida by catching a shark 9 feet long. Al Champone's business card said that he was a used furniture dealer. Okay. Australian was a Man, my back is just so bad right now. I don't even know why. It's so weird. Australia has a plague of poisonous cane toads, which can grow to be the size of a small dog. Wow. The government has asked people to kill them. My hair is all messed up. Kill them humanely, but most Australians just bash them over the head. Jesus. Okay. The name of the Volkswagen Beetle in Berlin, Birmingham, translates to the Volkswagen Turtle. A Japanese man who was so angry at a new building blocking the light that he shot it, causing lots of damage. The U.S. Mint discovered that the words "In God We Trust" were missing from some of their $1 coins in 2007. Since the coins were false and are available to collectors, one was sold on eBay for $405. A fighter jet surface in the air missile were put up for sale on a Chinese auction website. You really can buy anything on the internet. The average person spends 2 years of his or her life on the telephone. I can tell you right now, I do not spend 2 years on the telephone of my life. Nope, not doing that. Helium is made of lightweight atoms which can escape easily. That's why your balloons go up quickly. 188 million Valentine's Day cards are exchanged every year. Voice actor Mel Black was known as the man of 1,000 voices, but he denied he said that he provided only 850. His most famous characters were Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. Advertising that targets children under the age of 12 is banned in Sweden. Many forest fires and some need to regenerate. A Boston man faked his own death to see who would attend his funeral. Only his mother showed up. So it says advertising that targets children under the age of 12. It's like, buy this toy now. That's what it means, because like they prohibit that because then the kids are gonna go up to the parents and be like, "Can I have this?" It's really annoying. So I guess that's why, I don't know. Okay, a Siberian soccer player who was dropped from his club who just dropped from the college got even by chirping up the pitch with a tractor. Satellite navigation systems can't always be trusted. Drivers following instructions have ended up in the river in a little village in Wiltshire, England, and now locals are charging $49 to live them out. 150 saffron crutches are needed to produce 0.04 ounce, 1 gram of the spice saffron. The word taxi is the same in 13 languages. The New Mexican man saved his dog with a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation after it fell into an icy lake while chasing geese. Man, it seems like dogs are falling off cliffs and falling in lakes after chasing geese. I didn't get that. I don't know how long it was up there for. It took 14 years to build the Sydney Opera House. The population of the world is 6.6 billion. More than 250,000 babies are born each day. This book is a little bit old, so it's a little bit off. It's like 7.4, I think, now. The Sargasso Sea has no coastline in the middle of North Atlantic Ocean. The largest charity donation in American history is $30 billion given by a businessman at pluralist Warren Buffett, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Johnny Herbert came fifth in 1989 U.S. Grand Prix, but a local American firm refused to rent him a car because he was under 25. Only three cricketers have ever scored a maximum of 36 runs in over bowling 6 consecutive balls in a section. Garfield Sombers in 1986 and 19 well, I don't even know. Russ in 1995 and Harry Gibbs in 2007. Oh. Okay. The first item ever to have his barcode scanned was a package of chewing gum. As Johnny Wilkson scored the goal at the England rugby by the World Cup victory in 2003, his mother was out shopping at her local supermarket. It's illegal to keep a gerbil as a pet in California since gerbils sometimes carry tuberculosis. A Chinese couple were in such a rush to meet relatives that they left their 3-year-old. Oh, what kind of parents are that? You can, hold on. Okay, sorry guys. I'm responding to people in comments. Johnny Robert came first item ever to okay yeah if you took your life into your hands playing soccer in this formative years. In 1905 season, 18 players were killed and 150 were seriously injured. 50,000 text messages were sent every minute around the world. Japan has the highest number of vending machines, one for every 23 people. They sell anything from live lobsters to potted plants. What in the world? Snap, crackle, pop in German is Knusper. College lecturer Paul Rogan creates a. Hold on, guys. Paul, award-winning sculptures from lard. His works from characters from Bugs Bunny to Don Queen only 2 months before they spoil and become sticky. It's like that episode of SpongeBob that plays like Krabby Patty, like Pearl. I don't even know. There are around 1,050 Boeing 737s in the air around the world at any one time. My grandpa paints Boeing planes. Pretty lit. A Mexican mailman was arrested after police officers found 22,400 pounds, 10 metric tons of undelivered letters at his house. The guy's so lazy. The Chicago River is dyed green every year to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But that's just great for the fish. A beauty contest for retirees has been launched in Switzerland called Miss Retirement Home. Plans are now underway for a Mr. Retirement Home competition. An early woman who was in the economy section of an airplane shortly after takeoff was moved to first class for the reminder of the long flight, of the things people will do to get an upgrade. So funny. Paloma Pisico, Leonardo da Vinci, and Paul McCready all have roses named scaled vipers make a sizzling sound. More than 700 languages are spoken in Indonesia. An American who had his sunglasses broken and eye bruised by a snowball decided to sue the thrower for more than $3,800. It's no joke. It's offensive to call an Inuit, prison, and Eskimo. Parachutes have a hole in the top. The modern design lets build up air through, which in old parachutes have a hole in the top. The modern design lets build up air through, which old parachutes used to cause the swinging motion. Police in Soweto, South Africa, were called to deal attacks on pedestrians by giant rats and scary rodent cars, and protested and protested if people passed by. The Perionic Persimmon was a bit like a swordfish with the razor-sharp serrated front fins, which it would slice the flesh of its prey. There are 3 golf balls on the moon. A locked inside a movie theater for the night after they fell asleep during a movie. That's why you don't fall asleep during movies, okay? That's why you don't do that. The first ATM was installed in a New York bank in 1939, but taken out 6 months because customers didn't like it. There were no more for 25 years after that. A British man blinded in an accident had his sight restored 9 years later when he was struck by lightning. So I guess in a way that the lightning hitting him was a good thing. But so blind for 9 years. I mean, I've never heard of anyone like, I don't know if that was all like fictional, like movies and stuff. There were no vehicles on Pitcairn Island in South Pacific until the early 1970s. Alright. The Pelican Amber Museum in Lytton has a collection of about 28,000 pieces of amber, half of which contain fossilized insects, spiders, or plants. I'd like to visit that area. Pretty lit. Bookkeeper is the only word in the English language with 3 sets of double letters together. In the U.S., more than 150 pairs of identical twins are married to identical twins. What? What? That's kind of weird fact. Ice hockey was invented in Montreal, Canada in 1875. A day, sunrise to sunset, on the planet Mercury is longer than its year. Wow. Buddhist monks refuse to kill any of the ants infesting their temple in Kula Kampir, Mayesh, because of their beliefs in non-violence, even when the monk was hospitalized by ant bites. Beards are banned by the U.S. Army and Marine Corps. Of the 40 horses that began the 2001 Grand National Horse Race in England, only 2 finished without stopping. Well, those 2 people, yeah, they train those horses good. Bulgarian-American singer Ben Cho and Bakavi is most famous for killing himself during the interval of an opera by jumping off a balcony at a Metropolitan Opera in New York. Poor guy. Indian yellow paint pigment with cows that have been fed on only mango leaves and water. A man was banned from a pub in Scotland because he kept doing smelly farts. If you multiply 21,978 by 4, the number you get is mirror image. 87,912. Try it and see. So multiply 21,000. I'm going to actually put that in the comments. Okay, multiply 21,978 by 4. The number you get is mirror image. It's mirror image, so hold the number that you get in the mirror, and it'll have the right answer. Or whatever it is, I don't know. I'm actually going to try that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go with 21,978 times 4. Okay. Oh, it says that. Okay, and then put it in the mirror, and then it'll show you, like, and then put it in the mirror. feeling okay, guys. A middle-aged Chinese bachelor placed an advertisement asking for someone to share his grave so he wouldn't be lonely in the afterlife. That guy must have been really lonely in real life. Some sniffer dogs can track down pirate DVDs. They're trained to detect the chemicals used to make them. Okay. What is a regular CD? Can you track down that? Just imagine me like watching like a video and then like they come in, hands up. A golf ball is about 400 dimples on it. The dimples make the ball travel further. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay. Real gold and silver are sometimes used to decorate candy and desserts. One New York restaurant lists golden opulence on its menu as ice cream. Sundae covered in 23-karat edible gold leaf. It's pretty great. The Pentagon is the world's biggest office building and has 6 zip codes all to itself. Wow. I didn't know that. Velcro comes from the French words for a velvet hook or velveted hook. Its inventor got the idea from sticky burrows on its clothes after a walk. Ancient Egyptians loved cats and would shave off their eyebrows and to mourn the death of one. Alright, guys, we officially finished all the chapters, so I'm going to read you the very last thing, the bonus fact. Alright. Alright. Don't you have to be a scientist to do something unbelievable? Of course, doing something simple like collecting rubber ducks is incredible too. If you have more than 2,580 like world record holder Charlo Lee, here are some other things you probably don't know about rubber ducks. Queen Elizabeth II has a rubber duck that wears a crown. After its flabbergasting fact was revealed in the media in 2000, rubber ducks sold increased by 80%. In Dublin, Ireland, 150,000 rubber ducks took part in the longest ever rubber duck race in 2006. Thousands of rubber ducks were lost from a tanker during a Pacific storm in 1992 and were washing up all over the world for more than a decade afterward. There were movements provided available information about ocean currents. Imagine looking at from like Google if they were to take pictures of it. You would just see like an entire river yellow with rubber ducks. It'd be pretty cool. And then they've been rubbing up for over a decade. For 10 years, they've been splashing everywhere after that. It's pretty lit. A rubber duck is known as a ducky and its very own website, which details various vacations around the world. Fans can view photographs, read his blog updates, and even respond to his appeal for suitable female duck partner. Alright. We did it. Well, I did it. Read 1,001 facts. This first time I stood up and like, ow, my legs. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. 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 I did it. I failed last time on the keyboard cat, but I'm not failing now. Alright, I did it, I did it. I did it. Yeah. That was a long time. 3 hours and 38 minutes. Is sleep. Because, I mean, oh my gosh, that was cancerous. Alright, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more stupidness. If you have any you know, like things that you want me to do that are incredibly stupid, that I'm gonna do for a majority of my life, 4 hours. You know, I will do that. If you have any exceptions, feel free to leave a comment. Please subscribe. Please leave a like on this video. Go check out where I watched Keyword Cap for almost 4 hours. That was pretty lit. And this one, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Alright, bye guys.